Schedule, you are live. You are live. Welcome to the live chat. Welcome to the live chat. Welcome to the live chat. It's the perfect time of podcast, back with the blast. 2026 is such a blast. 2026 is literally a blast for some people. Double tap with the like button as you come on in, man. Welcome back, man. What is it, man? What is it? A blizzard? I took the other day off. I don't even know what today. It's Thursday. Thursdays is hot like fire. How you doing, man? As you come in, man, remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Y'all know what to do, man. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines is so important. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you to the platform that is better than no other. Thank you to all of the subscribers and viewers. Yeah, brand new on YouTube right now. We live, man. You made it, man. Welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I know you said, man, I want to catch this guy live. I've never been able to catch his live streams. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the numerations. I've seen the numbercations, and I got to see the conversation. Well, you made it. Welcome. 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 Double tap hit the like button as you come in. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you're so inclined, hit the plus sign, become a member. We are running our Somalian special. Yes, TPS expired on March 17th. Did you know, lo and behold, the liberal federal judge then blocked our TPS, the Somalians. So it was 3,500 it was 35,000, wasn't it? It's 3,500 Somalians and 350,000 Haitians. Did you know it was 300? So when we did the numbers on the Somalians, it's anywhere from 2,500 to 4,000. They're going to have to be deported. They're going to have to get on a plane. So TPS, for those of you who don't know, expired March 17th. We've been doing the countdown, 3/17/26 countdown, boogie down. It's here now. So what TPS stands for is temporary protection. So Somalians in 1990 and Joe Biden extended the temporary protection, even though he was giving them, even though he helped facilitate allegedly $1 billion to the tune of $19 billion in fraud. We got a video of Nick Shirley in California exposing hospice fraud in California. California has the most hospices in the United States. So in 1991, America, the great country that we are, the red, the white, and the blue, what we do here every day is Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo blues, giving Democrats the boo blues. Yes, sir, man. MAGA all the way, conservative channel Trump news. You know, I was perusing. I'm gonna get back to what we was talking about. I was perusing the interwebs last night, and I saw a lot of people trying to advocate for the left, for the blue. But you know what they do? Hey, double tap. Hey, they want to advocate for the left, for the blue. But you know what they do? All they do is boo-boo. All they do is boo-boo on you know who. Donald Trump. I never hear anyone on that left side who wants to have Trump supporters call in. If you voted for Trump, would you call in? Don't call into those channels. You know what I would rather them do? Give me someone, right? Instead of talking about my president, the greatest president to ever live in your lifetime, because most of these people are young. Donald Trump is the greatest second-term president that you've ever seen in your lifetime. He's not a lame duck in the traditional sense, like Barack Obama, who was stalled in his second term by Mitch McConnell and Senate Republicans. That's a traditional lame duck. Barack Obama couldn't get any legislation done in his second term. Barack Obama could not even get a nominee on the Supreme Court. Does anybody remember? Does anybody know what a true lame duck is? Donald Trump passed the big, beautiful bill in the first year of his second term. I know it's kind of confusing because so much has happened in recent history, in recent times, that you forget, wait a minute, he's right. Donald Trump did pass the big, beautiful bill, $1 trillion legislation, the largest legislation in most of the young people's lifetime. They've never seen a bill this big. Most of them didn't understand Obamacare. It wasn't really that big. It didn't give them anything. They've never seen anything this big. Obamacare happened in the first term. You haven't seen a president this prolific in his second term. We had ICE deport 2 million people in 2025, 600,000 deported by ICE, over 1 million people self-deported in 2025 over the CBP app. Did you know what a lot of people, when they talk about call in Trump supporters, did you get what you wanted, Trump supporters? Call in. Yeah, we got what we wanted, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, we got what we wanted, and we keep getting it every day. We got what we wanted, man. And we keep getting it every day. 2 million people deported in 2025. A lot of people don't know the numbers. Successfully, without incident, without violence. The violence didn't come to January in 2026 when we went to Minnesota. And Minnesota started to block ICE, despite when Tom Homan, leader of ICE, was in Minnesota under the Democratic president. He had an office in Minnesota. A lot of people forget about this. When we talk about Renee Good, when we talk about Alex Pretty, when we talk about what went down in Minnesota, Minneapolis, what you need to remember is that ICE was successful all of 2025. ICE had no problems, no violence. We went to court. We won the Supreme Court challenges in California. We won Supreme Court challenges in Chicago. We won Supreme Court challenges in Washington. ICE was able to wear masks. ICE was able to conduct raids. ICE was able to profile ethnically, right? California took us to court. Everybody took us to court. Hey, you can't wear masks. Hey, you can't ethnically profile. Hey, you can't go in the houses. And Supreme Court backed us up time and time and time again. So for 2025, ICE was extremely successful everywhere they went. Charlotte's Web in Charlotte, North Carolina. Chattahoochee Crunch in New Orleans. We went to Memphis. We went to DC. We went to LA. We went to Chicago. 600,000, 80% criminals. 600,000 deportees, 80% criminals. How do we know? Because of what I've educated my channel, Tom Homan and I, Perfect Timing Podcast. Double tap hit the like button and subscribe. Educated the audience. We want an intelligent electorate. How can we say 80% of the deportees were criminals? Double tap hit the like button. I know you might be upset. How can you say that with certainty? Because of something called a deportation order. If you know about the shutdown, today I'm going to talk about the TSA. TSA, over 500 people have quit. We have people quitting TSA. We have hundreds of people quitting. We have people not calling in. I have reports today of airports possibly closing due to the shutdown, right? So when you understand these things, God damn it, I done lost my train of thought. You motherfuckers hit the like button. I'm going to get some water. I done lost my train of thought. Double tap hit the like button. What was I talking about? Trump winning, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo-hoo-hoo blues. Man, so we damn near in another month of a shutdown. Now think about this. We're not even talking about the shutdown. And so in order for the TSA agents to get attention, they're thinking about closing down airports just so people could talk about it, because now we got a conflict in Iran. And number one, you guys, it's not a war. We haven't gone to Congress. Congress hasn't called it a war. There are no war powers. It's not a war. So people keep saying Iran war. It's an Iran-U.S. conflict. We got oil. We got Scott Bessick open up oil. We got California pipeline. We're going to talk about California pipeline. Now, what did I tell you about California? So we're going to talk about the TSA. We're going to talk about the TSA long lines, shutdowns, call-outs, quits, and possible airport closure. Just to get the American people to pay attention. It's spring break, you guys. People coming home from college, people want to see their grandmothers, people want to see their kids, and now it's going to be like almost impossible to maneuver through airports because of the shutdown, and we're not talking about it because we got a conflict in Iran. We got skyrocketing oil prices. We got the Democrats praying for America to lose in Iran. I don't know why. We have the news, CNN in Tehran, CNN in Iran. It doesn't look, it's hard to describe or discern what side CNN is actually on, as Abby Phillips has gotten caught several times since we've invaded Iran, making faux pas to the point where she had to issue 2 restrictions. Abby Phillips and CNN, since we've invaded Iran, has had to issue 2 restrictions. We say that she needs to be fired. She needs to quit. Abby Phillips shouldn't be on CNN. But I understand. This is what's going on. Why are we not focused? Unless you're flying in an airport, unless you have family members in the airport, you may not know about how long. We're past the month in this partial shutdown. The first shutdown was 43 days. ICE is already funded through 2029. This is the horrible thing. But this is the thing what the Democrats were almost successful doing in the first shutdown, is lying about that it was a Democratic shutdown. But then it came out, Democrats saying we shut down the government to cause pain. The only way we get people to vote for Dems is if we cause them pain. They admitted that. Damn, why do I keep why do I keep getting choked up? Oh shit. Okay. So we had Democrats admit during the admit during the first shutdown that they did the shutdown purposely to cause pain. Right? Democrats are dead in the midterms. I totally agree. Democrats are down with Democrats. Democrats are down with Democrats. And it's the worst polling that Democrats have seen in 35 years. So we got a lot to talk about today. So unless you have family members flying, and I pray, let's pray. I want all of you guys to know I'm not like a fear monger like the Democrats. What I'm doing is I'm educating people who may not know about what's going on because there's so much going on. This is a conservative Republican channel. My name is Perfect. It's the Perfect Timing Podcast. For some reason, I got a frog in my throat. I need some help with that, you guys. Double tap at the like button. I got some hot tea right here. I'm going to sip on this hot tea and take a minute to calm down. I come in so hot. It's Thursday, man. Thursdays is hot like fire, man. And there's so much to talk about. Plus, I was off yesterday. So with the fact that it's Thursday, I was off yesterday. I'm excited to be here. I love my audience. I love my podcast. I love YouTube. I love the opportunity to have this conversation. This is the #1 podcast for geopolitical and domestic discourse. If it's your first time here, welcome. Thank you for arriving. YouTube did its job. You probably, you know what it is, you guys? Right now in California, it is pollen. Like we got heavy pollen. I've been sweeping up. The pollen is just everywhere. So it's even if you don't have allergies, everybody got some Claritin in their back pocket right now. You know what I'm saying? This pollen is beating my ass. So, so please bear with me with the pollen and my allergies. But we're going to rock out. We're going to rock out. So we're talking about the TSA meltdown, the TSA shutdown. We're going to talk about California going red. We already talked about, I've been telling you about Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is maybe the worst governor in history. So we can talk at the same, think about this. We gave Marco Rubio a grade, right? We gave Marco Rubio a grade. We had to grade Marco Rubio an A. And this is to all the people that think we don't know what we're doing in Iran. Why did we grade Marco Rubio A? We graded Marco Rubio A because we understand Iran in a geopolitical sense. And I heard this in a debate the other day where somebody was talking about Iran in a vacuum without talking about Venezuela. So you hear the news media talking about Trump taking Cuba and not really telling you the domino effect and the geopolitical ramifications of Marco Rubio in his back channel talks in Venezuela and how we got Venezuela so quietly, so easily, so quickly, and why you don't hear Venezuela in the news anymore. Do you guys remember Maria, who got the Nobel Peace Prize and then gave it to Donald Trump? We gave Marco Rubio an A because we learned that Marco Rubio was in back channel talks with Maduro. Maduro was able to get out his wife and his loved ones. His wife looked very lovely coming off the plane. Maduro was handcuffed in front of him. We learned that Marco Rubio was responsible for the quiet evacuation of Maduro and the quiet turnover of Venezuela to America. Now we're getting oil out of Venezuela, but it's not just that. When we went to Venezuela, when Marco Rubio worked to get Maduro out quietly, easily, and quickly, and then we controlled the oil. You haven't heard we handed power back over to the Venezuelan people, right? You haven't heard anything from Venezuela. They're not in the news. They're not upset. They're not protesting. Everyone is happy with what America did, but there is something else that happened. There's a multi-pronged geopolitical reasons why we went to Venezuela first, for those of you who have been paying attention. And those of you who have just been listening to Abby Phillips say we don't know what we're doing. When we went to Venezuela, we stopped oil going where? We stopped oil leaving Venezuela via these commercial tankers that had special technology, switching flags. Remember, we got an oil tanker that switched its flag to a African flag. It had special technology. Now, when we caught the oil tankers, no one discussed where did they get the technology. We all assume they got the technology from Venezuela. We should have known better that Venezuela did not have that ability to have that technology on those oil tankers. So where did Venezuela get the technology to hide oil tankers? And why would they hide oil tankers, right? Where did Venezuela get the technology to hide oil tankers from satellites? and from the Navy. Well, we argue that they got it from Iran. So when we stopped oil leaving Venezuela, we stopped oil going to China, and we stopped oil going to Cuba. So when you hear the news media saying Trump is going to take Cuba, that's not actually true. This is why we give Marco Rubio an A, because Marco Rubio has been working also, just like in Venezuela, with back channel talks to Cuba leadership to do a peaceful transition of power, the same way we did in Venezuela. Now, how is this going to be possible? Cuba has been without power for over 2 months. A lot of people, last time some people got sensitive, I'm not being unsensitive to Cuba, the children and the people in Cuba who may be starving, it may be unaliving. I'm not being unsensitive to that fact, but I'm America First. This is an America First channel. This is an America First channel. I'm explaining to you why America and how America is doing what it's doing. So when we stop oil leaving Venezuela, it affected not only China, like you've heard in the news, but it solely affected Cuba. We've heard reports that 70% of China's oil came from Venezuela. We've heard 90% of China's oil came from Iran. What you didn't hear in that same news report is 100% of Cuba's oil was coming from Venezuela. Cuba, the communist sympathizer, right? Now, when we stopped oil going to Cuba, basically hospitals, schools, everything has been shut down in Cuba for 2 months. People are starving. People are protesting. Marco Rubio is in back channel talks to end communism in Cuba without one person dying. So we give him Marco Rubio an A. So Trump is not taking Cuba. There will be a peaceful transition. Cuba, now think about a lot of my listeners are a little bit older. They remember John F. Kennedy. They remember the Bay of Pigs. They remember Castro. They remember communist Cuba, right? They remember the Cuban embargo. Think about the people who watch me who are a little bit older, who know a little bit about geopolitics, the fact that Cuba would no longer be communist without one bullet, without one army tanker. You don't understand what I'm saying? Because Cuba will negotiate like Venezuela with Marco Rubio, secretary, to get power, to get water, to get food, because their people are starving. They are protesting and starving. Now, what else did Trump do? What else did Trump do besides block the oil going to Cuba and effectively make Cuba come to the negotiation table? Trump also said to Mexico and to China that if you assist Cuba by giving Cuba money, oil, or food, I will levy a heavy tariff on you. So China has not been able to help Cuba, because this is something I thought about when I thought about this part about this whole geopolitical thing. Why are people paying the tariffs? Why are people adhering to Trump's threat of tariffs? Just put a pin in that. We'll talk about that later. Trump threatened Mexico and China, anybody who was a communist sympathizer, that if you help Cuba, you will get a hefty tariff. So no one has helped Cuba. Cuba is starving like a grape on the vine, and they will make a deal with Marco Rubio. That's what's happening in Cuba. Trump is not taking Cuba. Trump is not taking Cuba. So if you understand geopolitics and the domino effect, we went to Venezuela first for a reason. We affected Cuba when we went to Venezuela first. We effectively got Cuba off of the playing field. We also crippled China and Iran when we went to Venezuela first. Then we went to Greenland for the Golden Dome. Why does everybody keep forgetting when NATO broke down first? NATO is breaking down now. Everybody can see what MAGA saw months ago when NATO did not see. We predicted that we would invade Iran, because why would we go to Greenland next? It's because it was an imminent attack. We were going to invade Iran, but if we would have gotten Greenland in the support of NATO, the invasion of Iran would have came after the dome was erected, right? So what you have now in Iran is the Iran, we knew about the many ballistic missiles. What have I taught you about? Iran and its proxies, their ability to build drones, their ability to build missiles before we invaded. This is the thing about Joe Kent that makes Joe Kent a piece of shit. What makes Joe Kent a piece of shit? Joe Kent is lying to the American people that Iran posed no threat. This is how Joe Kent can say that without lying, which makes him a used car salesman. Can we get Joe Kent is a used car salesman in the chat? Joe Kent is a used car fucking salesman, a piece of shit used car salesman. So Joe Kent can say Iraq didn't pose a threat because he's leaving out Iranian proxies and the violence and the threat and the danger Iranian proxies cause and pose to not only Americans, but Israelis, and not only in Israel, but on American soil. Because the last time I was here, I educated you about Hezbollah Unit 910. Remember, I educated you. Tulsi Gabbard is testifying about it today. Hezbollah Unit 910. This is the contradiction. This is the juxtaposition. This is how Joe Kent is a piece of shit car salesman, right? Because if you say, wait a minute, you have Iranian proxies in America. Yeah, we had the Las Vegas. We had the Austin, Texas. We had the New York. I mean, recently. I'm talking about recent uptick of proxy violence in America. I'm not talking about 2001. I'm not talking about the towers. I'm talking about recent proxy violence. I mean, Zohrani, Mondani, the Morani in front of his house, right? Just last week, proxy violence in America. So what is Joe Kent talking about? You think Joe Kent would have quit before the fucking proxy violence showed up in America, right? Before two 18 and 19-year-olds were arrested saying Allah Akbar, throwing improvised violence. How the fucking Joe Kent get away with saying there is no imminent threat when we have a motherfucking imminent threat in our back fucking door, Joe Kent? Joe Kent, we have it right here in America. We have Hezbollah 910 sleeper cells being activated. Joe Kent, my name is Perfect Timing, the Perfect Timing podcast. But Joe Kent quits after we arrest the 18 and the 19-year-old in New York, after Austin, Texas. After Kash Patel gets FBI intel and warns California of an imminent attack via drone. It's like, and then this is the TDS. This is the bullshit that pisses me off. Despite all these realities, think about this, all of my MAGA Knights, all of my deplorables, despite these realities, you know what I'm saying? Everything I just stated is a reality. This is the thing about these people. They grasp onto straws. They don't have any reality. Everything I said to you is really happening. October 7th really happened. The proxy violence, billions of dollars to Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, 700 million. The Houthis, hundreds of millions. Hamas, 300 million. Drones, over 100,000 rockets to Hezbollah. Drone technology to the Houthis. They took over the Red Sea based on drones and missiles given to them by Iran. I wish these wasn't facts. But then Joe Kent comes out and quit. Joe Kent, the biggest wuss ever, Joe Kent, because his wife passed away, 11 tours and all this bullshit. Well, Joe Kent has been bought and sold, motherfuckers. Joe Kent has been bought and sold. Because sadly, Joe Kent comes out to say there is no threat after all of the shit I am listening to you. So what do you do with everything I say? What do you do with everything that's happened to listen to Joe Kent and to buy into Joe Kent and to people who want to say champion Joe Kent? You have to throw out reality. This is why we call it TDS. This is why we call it Trump derangement fucking syndrome. You have to throw out reality. You have to ignore all of the proxy violence that began in 2020 under your Sleepy Joe. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. You have to ignore Joe Biden and Kamala Harris felon in Vienna. Like I said, so last night I told you I'm walking around the internet. Trump supporters call in. I'm waiting for them. They won't be honest about how we got to Iran. None of the people who want Trump supporters to call in know shit about history and geopolitics. Do they know that Biden was the envoy when he was vice president in 2014? Biden was the border czar for the Ukraine and Russia border. I never hear this shit. I never hear this when they be on there. Trump supporters call in. Trump support. They don't know how we got to Iran. They don't know why we're in Iran. They don't know how we got to Iran. They don't know how we got to Russia. They don't know. They don't know any of this. Well, when Joe Biden became president, Sleepy Joe, let's go, Brandon. He is the one who failed in nuclear peace talks with Iran. For some reason on the internet, I keep hearing about Trump failing about nuclear peace talks in Iran. And it's like, does anybody remember the fact that the last person who was president before we invaded Iran was fucking Joe Biden? Let's bring it up now as we get into this shit. Biden fails in Vienna. Let's look it up. Based on reports and criticism, early 20 Biden administration efforts to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA in Vienna were widely criticized as stalled and ineffective or a failure to restrain Iran's nuclear advancement. Okay? Why do people not be honest about how we got into Iran? I've drawn a straight line. I've drawn a straight fucking line, bro. I've drawn a straight fucking line, bro. Based on reports and criticism up to early 2026, the Biden administration efforts to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA in Vienna, were widely criticized as stalled, ineffective, or a failure to restrain Iran's nuclear advancement. Critics argue the approach showed weakness, allowed significant uranium enrichment, and failed to secure long-term concessions. But this is not in a vacuum, because Vienna and Biden's failure, you gotta couple that with Biden leaving Afghanistan like a complete failure with his tail between his legs. So it's not just Vienna that I never hear the people who say Trump supporters call in. Trump supporters call in. I never hear them admit that Biden failed in Vienna. Let me keep going with some of the things that my chat shared with us. Double tap it to like. Not many people who are under 30 don't even know about the Cuban Missile Crisis, where Russia was threatened to put nuclear warheads in Cuba. Double tap hit the like button. Now, can you believe what's how you say your name? Was that Ronald? I'm blind as a bat with these big ass four bifocals. Can you believe that we will acquire that? Can you believe that Cuba will no longer be communist without any American soldiers or any type of guns or bodies, anything? Now, some Cuban people may be hurt in the power outages, and I pray that they are okay. I pray that they come to a quick resolution before anyone gets hurt. But can you believe that this whole thing that we've been alive this long with JFK was assassinated, one of America's favorite presidents? You can't talk about JFK without talking about Cuba. I mean, you really can't. Whenever you talk about the conspiracies behind JFK and what happened to JFK, just like I'm talking about how and why we get to Iran, and I'm explaining to you Vienna, and then I'm going to talk to you about the money that Biden paid. There was more policies with the Democrats. It's not just that the Democrats failed in Vienna, but Ronald, can you believe that we will see communism fall in Cuba without any violence? Double tap hit the like button. I think Trump. This is what a Democrat said. Bill Maher. Bill Maher said if Trump is able to get Cuba, if Trump is able to get Venezuela and Iran, Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. How many people agree? Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, to answer that question, you got to understand how what Trump has been doing since Venezuela leads to peace. Whoa, look at the likes. The likes is too low. What's going on, party people? Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up. What's going on with you? What's going on with you? Let's get the likes up, people. What's going on with? Let's get us a goal. Our goal. Okay, we got our gift goal up there. What's up with your Shakespeare? Double tap, hit the like button. Let's get the likes up, everybody. Big favor. Let me ask everybody watching right now. Very simple thing to do. It's free. I'm going to ask everyone watching right now, double tap the screen. I know you don't want to watch anyone else. I know you're afraid that if you double tap the screen, it'll scroll Promise you, you can come right back. But what you can do to avoid that is hit the subscribe button. In the top right-hand corner, you're going to see 3 dots. Those are called an ellipsis. If you hit those ellipses, let me tell you another way you can do some things here. In the top right-hand corner of your cell phone, you're going to see 3 dots. Boop, boop, boop. It's called an ellipsis. Hit that ellipsis. It's going to give you the opportunity to like the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, share the podcast with a like-minded individual. I know a lot of people listening agree with what we're saying, and we want other people to have the information because the liberal, leftist, socialist media is extremely powerful. They're actually in Iran right now. They're actually in Tehran. So if we want this truth to get out, go ahead and hit those 3 ellipses. Hit the like button for me. Double tap. Hit the like button for me. Truly appreciate it. Go ahead and hit the subscribe. And what I want you to do, for those of you who are enjoying yourself, who's hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the plus sign, become a member. I'm running a Somalian special. How many people know about March 17th, 2026? March 17th, 2026, the TPS expired for the Somalians. Who knows what TPS means? TPS is temporary protection that America extended to Somalians and Haitians when their countries were going through turmoil. Unfortunately, the Somalians, under our protection, 80% of the community was on welfare. They decided, while being on welfare, nobody working, just getting a free ride in America, they decided to steal allegedly $19 billion. Shout out to Nick Shirley. So Trump has removed the protection. Trump has removed the protection. March 17th, Marco Rubio made a tweet. Trump removed the TPS. Unfortunately, you guys, I got a report that a federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's TPS, so it's going to the Supreme Court. What I need you to do is call your representative, let your representative know that we support Trump and the administration's removal of TPS of the Somalian community who were 80% on welfare when they allegedly defrauded the American people during COVID, during quarantine, of over $19 billion. Don't forget autistic children, elderly people, daycares, leering centers empty. And now we got Nick Shirley in California with hospice fraud. So if you support Donald Trump, and everybody here, double tap it to like, but I know you love Trump. That's why you're here. That's what we do. Trump news, Trump news, Trump news, giving Democrats the boo blues, giving Democrats the boo. So if you support Trump and what we do, call your local representative, let them know that we support the removal of TPS for the Somalian community. Temporary protection for the community who we already gave 80% welfare, temporary protection for the community once we gave them welfare, once we gave them a place to be safe, they stole $19 billion allegedly. Double tap, hit the like button. Not enough likes. Not enough likes, get the likes up. So right now, y'all, let's go. Let's see what I got for you guys, man. We got Iran, we got oil, we got a lot to discuss about the Iran oil. A couple things I want to talk about with the Iran oil, because what I've been saying here is Gavin Newsom is the worst governor ever to be in American history. California is in the worst place ever. So what we got right now is we have the Straits of Hormuz basically we had some issues with the Straits of Hormuz being open, right? Because we had lack of support from our NATO allies. What I can tell you right now is that we have our Japanese sister, brand new prime minister, first female prime minister in Japan, huge fan and friend of Trump. She's in Washington, D.C. They're working out a deal with Japan is going to help us open up the Straits of Hormuz. We got NATO, people like Starmer, people like Dirty Sanchez talking about they could possibly help. It could take a long time with the way NATO is hemming and hawing to get the Straits of Hormuz open back up, right? So what we're doing in the interim while NATO gets their act together, because it's obvious. Did you guys see the report the other day that the UN said that they're basically bankrupt? I have reported that Trump in the new bill, once we get the government back open, that we not giving no money to NATO and we not giving no money to UN. How can the UN be bankrupt if everybody is contributing? Well, I guess everybody isn't contributing, right? Just like in NATO, we were the only ones paying. Spain is a free rider. Spain ain't even paying for shit. Spain ain't even paying for shit. Can you believe it? I believe it. I believe it. So what we doing? So what we doing to get around the oil thing is that we're in California, and Trump has opened up a pipeline in California, and that one of the ways we're gonna fix the oil problem. I don't know if I want to call it a problem, but it's a temporary issue, because I feel another way about the Straits of Hormuz being closed. Like, my opinion on the Straits of Hormuz being closed is that it's the same thing with Cuba, right? With the Straits of Hormuz closed, what does that say? Somebody compared Iran to a gas station, right? Somebody said Iran is just a big gas station. So I said, what is a gas station that no longer sells gas? Anybody in the chat what is a gas station if it ceases to sell gas? Well, I argue it's no longer a gas station, right? It's no longer a gas station if it ceases to sell gas, right? Who agrees with that? So just like Cuba has to come to an agreement, I believe
I think today, obviously, we've got a lot to discuss.
I believe it's a two-sided sword when we come and we talk about the Straits of Hormuz being closed, because with the Straits of Hormuz being closed, yes, there is a temporary pain at the pump, right? And people are feeling pain, but also Iran is effectively closed. I'm going to show you reports today of Israel targeting now energy depots in Iran. But my opinion on the Straits of Hormuz being closed, despite I know it will cause some people pain at the pump, it may cost Americans money, right? The Straits of Hormuz being closed effectively shuts down Iran. So Iran eventually will run out of money and run out of the ability to wage this war. With the Straits of Hormuz closed, and now Israel strategically targeting their ability to create power, they will be in a similar situation as Cuba. They will not be able to create revenue to build more missiles and drones, and they will not be able to create power to fund and fuel their army and their people. So I get it. Trump has to pretend like he wants to open the Straits of Hormuz. But what does it mean that we were able to close it? And what does it mean that Israel has air superiority over Iran, but Democrats and Joe Kent are out here saying there's something wrong with the Trump and the admin and Marco Rubio? I think they're kicking ass. Double tap, put a one in the chat if you think Trump, Pete Hegseth, and Marco Rubio is kicking ass. This is Stormer, and this is Zelensky discussing, number one, NATO anti-American stance, NATO's ineffectively supporting Iran. And what I would like you to extrapolate from this is, how long has Zelensky been in power? When we go back to Biden in 2014, being vice president, Biden being the point person on the day of revolution when Zelensky came to power, and the Putin-friendly president was gotten out by America, similar to how America installed a dirty Shah, which led to the 1979 Ayatollah Khomeini. It's the same thing that we did in Iran. It's the same thing that we did in Iran. It's the same thing that we did in Cuba. MI6 and CIA installed a dirty Shah in 1953. That led to the upheaval in 1979. Joe Biden in the U.S. installed Zelensky, an actor and a comedian. He's been president for how long, you guys? Do the math. 2014, 2026. How long can you be president? How long can you be president? Now, this is what I extrapolate, because I told you NATO wasn't shit. Because I could hear the way Macron was talking, how Macron is working in secret channels behind our back as we work in peace deals with Putin, and Putin is coming in to spend money on American oil. Double tap at the like button if you fucking with the content, man. Double tap at the like button. Let's get into it, man. Zelensky, sneaky ass, snake ass Zelensky. He been president since 2014, a comedian and a motherfucking actor, and no good Stormer.
I think today, obviously, we've got a lot to discuss. I think it's really important that we're clear that the focus remain on Ukraine. There is obviously a conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East, but we can't lose focus on what's going on in Ukraine and the need for our support there. And secondly, it's really important that we're clear and consistent that Putin can't be the one who benefits from the conflict in Iran, whether that's oil prices or the dropping of sanctions. It's really important that we keep up our resolve in relation to supporting Ukraine and doing everything we can.
Why? Why can't Putin benefit? Why? I talked about this a lot, man, about this Cold War rhetoric. This is another reason why I believe NATO and the UN is done. It's beyond, I'm Gen X, right? It's Gen X and baby boomers here watching. But think about millennials, man. Think about Gen A, LGBTQ plus, Gen A plus, Z, Gen Z, all this shit. They have, somebody in my chat already said that most young people don't remember Cuba, communist Cuba, right? Most young people don't remember communist Cuba, right? So how many young people can, I've been talking about it all week, how many young people can remember Ronald Reagan, Gorbachev? This the 80s. My wife wasn't even born in the 80s, right? So we got Gorbachev, we got Germany, we got the wall, we got Reagan, we got these Cold War rhetoric, you know what I'm saying? We got movies. Remember, what was the movie with Clint Eastwood? And they spent all this money during the Cold War building these nuclear arms and super takers and nuclear missiles and nuclear submarines. What was the movie? Firefox, and then you had 4th of July. You had all these movies, man, Navy SEALs and all this shit during the Cold War, right? The Cold War was very prosperous for Europe and America, and it was always bullshit. Nothing ever materialized. Russia ended up falling and collapsing under their own economic woes. A lot similar, think about this, a lot similar to Cuba. When communism finally fell, when Reagan said, Gorbachev, tear down that wall, this is why NATO is irrelevant. I'm giving you the story of why NATO is irrelevant, why Biden is such a failure as a president, why the American people really failed themselves by electing a 90-year-old man with Cold War ideology that got us into a conflict in Ukraine and spent $300 billion of American money. At the same time, help revitalize neo-national Nazis via the Azov Battalion just to fight a fake Russia. So what I'm saying to you is, when you listen to this bullshit about Putin not being able to benefit off of his own resources and ability to benefit, I say, why cannot Putin and Russia benefit? Where is this boogeyman for not just for Gen X, but for Gen Z? How does Gen Z relate to a Russian boogeyman? How do you sell them on the Cold War? They didn't buy it with Biden. They voted for Trump. 80% of America, they gave Trump a bully mandate. We have the House, we have the Senate, and we have the White House. So they did not buy Cold War rhetoric when Kamala Harris went to the Munich Security Council and said Ukraine has a right and a need to be part of NATO. We did not agree. The number one thing in Abu Dhabi right now, Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are in trilateral peace talks, supposedly with Russia and Abu Dhabi. Why the fuck is Zelensky sitting there with Starmer talking shit? Can somebody tell me why the fuck is Zelensky sitting there with Starmer talking cash shit when we supposed to be in Abu Dhabi having trilateral peace talks to stop your people from dying? Zelensky is okay with his people dying as long as he get to stay in power. And Macron and Starmer is focused on their political future and resources for their country. Because unlike America, ever since we opened the Shell pipeline, ever since we acquired Venezuela, America, we good with oil. America, we good with oil. But see, France and the UK and European countries who are supposed to be American NATO allies, they have a motherfucking issue. They're going to have an issue coming in the next 10 years. They're going to have an issue with resources. They already have an issue with demographics. Anybody heard of Brexit? Anybody heard of Brexit? You just last week, they just announced there's no more lords in the House of There's no more lords. The monarchy is dead. Europe has fallen. Get that bullshit out of here. NATO is no use to America anymore. What do you mean, perfect? Yeah, they just voted because they've been so dirty, they've been so corrupt, fucking around with little girls with Epstein and then stealing, giving money and giving secret supply. So the motherfucker that was in the picture with the girl with Epstein, like I said before, Epstein was never about the girls and about the pussy. It was about the power and the information. So this whole time we've been focused on this motherfucker who was part of the royal family being in the picture with a bitch who was smiling. He was actually giving information to Jeffrey Epstein. So it never was about the pussy. The pussy was the party. It was a pussy party. So you guys are focused on a white pussy. You don't care about little black girls, little girls of color coming across the Mexican border, little black girls going missing, because that's a major problem in America. In America, all the little black girls and brown girls going missing, but that's not on the news. What do we want to hear about? Even after Jeffrey Epstein is dead, he's been arrested and found guilty twice. Ghislaine Maxwell's in jail. The motherfucking victims is 50 years old, white pussy, white bitches. But the actual real shit going on in America right now with little girls missing, y'all don't give a fuck about. Y'all keep saying Epstein files, Epstein files. These bitches is 50 years old. They don't look hurt. They don't look sad. If you look at them in pictures, they smiling. Everybody in the picture with Bill Clinton in the hot tub was having fun. Everybody at the Epstein party was having fun. But y'all don't give a fuck about real victims. Y'all don't care about real girls missing. Y'all want to say, we want Epstein files. We want Epstein. When the truth is, that guy in the picture from the royal family, it never was about that girl he took a picture with. And the reason that the lords have been kicked out of parliament, in parliament, when you were born royalty in the UK, you got a seat. Just being born royalty, you got a seat. It was the lords, right? The house of y'all. Does y'all know anything about geopolitics? Well, that's gone. The monarchy has fallen. Queen Elizabeth is dead. The monarchy is fallen. And then demographically, you have been overrun by Islamic immigrants to the point where your people don't feel safe going to the supermarkets and going to grocery stores. So I don't understand any of this bullshit Stallmer is talking about. They should have been on our side with Greenland. They should be on our side now. Fuck Stallmer, fuck Zelensky, fuck Macron, fuck NATO, fuck UN. And just listen to how they talk about this shit. And they have this European arrogance and this ambiguity to American principles, ideology. It's like a cousin who thinks they're better than you. Anybody got any relatives like that think they better than you and forget that they fucking related? This shit is pissing me off.
I think today, obviously, we've got a lot to discuss. I think it's really important that we're clear that the focus must remain on Ukraine. There is obviously a conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East, but we can't lose focus on what's going on in Ukraine and the need for our support there. And secondly, it's really important that we're clear and consistent that Putin can't be the one who benefits from the conflict in Iran, whether that's oil prices or the dropping of sanctions. It is really important that we keep up our resolve in relation to supporting Ukraine and doing everything we can to weaken the hand of Putin. So I look forward to discussing those and other issues with you. But you're very welcome here, and it's great to have another chance to discuss this with you, my friend.
What is he talking about? Why he said so? America is in Iran. We are in a conflict, a major conflict. America's in Iran in a major conflict. And Stallmer, one of our key partners, how many people can hear what I can hear? America is in a conflict in Iran. Some people say a major conflict. I think we already got it won. But if you agree it's a major conflict, Stallmer, one of our key allies, is on national television sitting with Zelensky, the 15-year actor, comedian, president installed by Biden of Ukraine. He's been there since 2014. Stallmer, leader of the UK, sitting there with Zelensky and no representative of America. They're not either one of them helping America. And they're sitting here saying the focus must remain on the Ukraine. What do you hear? I know a lot of you hear me say fuck NATO and all this shit, and you think, oh, he just cussing and he don't know what he's talking about. What do you, I'm being honest, what do you hear? What do you hear when we have Trump is honoring servicemen who have passed away in the Iranian conflict today? We got, can I say, everybody, God bless the servicemen who have lost their life so far in the Iranian conflict. And I want to say to all American service people that we thank you for your service and we love you. So while we're dealing with Iran, the European leaders are saying their focus must remain on Ukraine and making sure that Putin doesn't benefit. What? What? What did he say? What? So this is what Democrats, so all the people who are anti-Trump, are you deaf also? Are you anti-Trump and deaf? He said, this is today, brothers and sisters. This is Stormer. As we are dealing with the Straits of Hormuz, as we are dealing with oil and energy prices, this is European leader, one of our #1 allies, Stormer, saying his resolve remains behind the Ukraine and this fake fucking Cold War rhetoric that Putin is a boogeyman. No one so far has been able to prove why and how Putin is a boogeyman. No one that Putin has killed, no one that Putin has done anything wrong to, but some reason, and all these motherfuckers is white. I hate this shit. But for some reason, Stormer wants you to believe that Putin is the bad guy and Putin can't benefit. Why, Stormer? And why is Europe any better? Why is Europe any better than Russia? Why especially to Americans who have no dog in this fight? Why does UK weigh more? We have Russian immigrants here. I grew up in San Francisco. We have a rich Russian culture in San Francisco. I love the Russian culture. I grew up in the avenues in San Francisco. So why, as an American, in a melting pot where people from all over the world, why should I give more credence to Europe than Russia? Like they're not Russian Americans, right? Right, Stormer? Why the fuck is your interest more important than Russia or American interest? Right? Because when you say you want Putin to lose, you don't say you want America to win. I'm gonna say it again. When you say you want Putin to lose, you don't say you want America to win. Listen.
I think today, obviously, we've got a lot to discuss. I think it's really important that we're clear that the focus must remain on Ukraine. There is obviously a conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East, but we can't lose focus on what's going on in Ukraine.
Do you hear that? I'm not making it up. Just so you know, this is timely. He says, we understand there's a conflict in Iran and in the Middle East, but Europe's focus should be NATO's focus, which is America's focus, because there is no NATO without America. This is not, and when everybody hear about, then there's no more NATO, please don't say Trump broke up NATO. Please don't say Trump ended NATO. Just listen to what he is saying. When NATO is dispelled, just remember, Spain does not contribute at all to NATO. When Trump asked the rest of the NATO countries to contribute only 5%, they were given 2% before. They were only paying 2% tariffs. They basically were on a free fucking ride, you guys. Europe, listen, to them talk this shit, you would not think how nice we have been to Stormer, Europe, and Zelensky with the $300 billion. So they were paying a 2% tariff, and they were only paying 2% to NATO. So Trump makes them pay 5%, but Spain never paid shit. So when Stormer gets up here, when we're in Iran, and we keep telling these motherfuckers, give us access to the fucking bases and get your punk ass over here to motherfucking Straits of Hormuz, these motherfuckers saying, we gonna stay neutral. But So that was the other day. So think about this. Staying neutral is one thing. Now he is saying our priority is Ukraine. He basically just said, fuck America. He basically just said, fuck America. He said, my focus is Ukraine. I don't give a fuck what America is doing. He said, I know America's in Iran. I know America's in Iran, but Europe focus is the Ukraine. He basically just split NATO. So don't say Trump did it. Give Starmer his props, because Starmer just split NATO. Starmer, not Trump. Starmer just split NATO.
I think today, obviously, we've got a lot to discuss. I think it's really important that we're clear that the focus must remain on Ukraine. There is obviously a conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East, but we can't lose focus on what's going on in Ukraine and the need for our support there. And secondly, it's really important that we're clear and consistent that Putin can't be the one who benefits from the conflict in Iran, whether that's oil prices or the dropping of sanctions. It is really important that we keep up our resolve in relation to supporting Ukraine and doing everything we can to weaken the hand of Putin. So I look forward to discussing those and other issues with you. But you're very welcome here, and it's great to have another chance to discuss this with you, my friend.
They just split NATO. They just split NATO. So don't say Trump split NATO. Don't say Trump split NATO. Thank you. UK, cowardly. So there is a lot more going on in Venezuela. There's a lot more going on in Cuba. There's a lot more going on in Iran. UN just reported that they are basically broke. The UN, so who is holding up the UN? Who is holding up NATO? These are the questions we should be asking, huh? Who is holding up the UN? Who is holding up NATO? I just want to know. It must be America. It must be America. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. Can't make this shit up, man. Can't make this shit up. He just ended NATO. He just said European interests. He just said European interests are above American interests, and Europeans. It started before Iran. It started in Greenland. It started in Venezuela. It started in Cuba. It been started. Why would they not want us to have Greenland? And why did Macron and them start doing back channel deals to stop the peace efforts when we got Venezuela? Do you guys know when we invaded Iran that Macron gave missiles? Now, remember, the Munich Security Councils, Hillary Clinton was at the Munich Security Councils. Why? Why was Hillary Clinton at Munich Security Council 2026? These are huge questions. She just testified in the Epstein case, and she walked out. Contempt of court. Why was Hillary Clinton at the Munich Security Council? Just pay attention. Hillary Clinton says in 2026, I'm not talking about in 2008 when she was in the White House. I'm not talking about 2008. I'm talking about right now today. Hillary Clinton, old ass, was at the Munich Security Council saying, give Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. She's not an elected official. Nobody in America ever wants her to be an elected official. She hasn't spoken to the Hillary Clinton server, the Weiner laptop. You guys remember Anthony Weiner? That disappeared. The men who saw the laptop, they disappeared. The Hillary Clinton server, James Comey, remember Comey and the Hillary Clinton server? All that disappeared. She still hasn't testified to that. I don't know when they had her under oath, why they didn't ask her about Anthony Weiner, the laptop, and the server. Just put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. Be that as it may, Hillary Clinton was still at the Munich Security Councils in 2026 saying America, and she has no representative, no basis to be in the Munich Security Council, but she is saying America needs to give Ukraine more Tomahawk missiles. I'm at home watching it, and I'm just flabbergasted. Why is Hillary Clinton telling the globe that America should give the Ukraine Tomahawk missiles after already giving them 300 billion, after America is the one who installed Zelensky, who caused all this bullshit because he's not a real politician. He has an inability to negotiate with Putin. So America is behind all of this bullshit. Hillary Clinton, who is not an elected official, doesn't truly represent America. She's basically a celebrity at this point. Why she's in the Munich Security Council, I have no fucking idea. But she is telling the globe America should give the Ukraine more missiles, Tomahawk missiles. So when we invade Iran the other day, guess what France did? When after the Munich Security Council, America invades Iran, guess what? France gives the Ukraine missiles. France and Macron just gave, now we're in peace talks with Russia. Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff are in Abu Dhabi. I call it the Abu Dhabi Denali Lobby in trilateral peace talks with Russia. Did you hear me? I said Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff are in trilateral peace talks with fucking Russia and Abu Dhabi, but France and Macron just gave Zelensky and Ukraine missiles and they bombed Russia while we're having peace talks. Not only are we having peace talks, but we're invading Iran. So there is no NATO. They hate us. They are working against us behind our back. Did you hear what I said? When we are invading Iran, number one, they're not helping us. They're not in the Straits of Hormuz. They're not supporting their NATO partners. Spain refused to give us the bases. But that's not it. At the same time we invade Iran, France armors the Ukraine while we're in peace talks. France is our motherfucking ally. Why are you giving the Ukraine missiles? We want to end the war with Russia. Why is Macron, why is Starmer sitting with fucking Zelensky? Can someone help me out? Why is Starmer sitting with Zelensky? Why are they prioritizing Ukraine? Ukraine don't make oil. Ukraine ain't gonna keep your lights on, Starmer. Let them have Ukraine. Let them have all of this bullshit. Hey, I hope Ukraine helps you with your Islamic immigration. I hope Ukraine helps you keep the motherfucking lights on. I hope the Ukraine helps you with all of the lords and the corruption of the motherfucking monarchy, because America not gonna do it no more. America, can you guys believe at the same time they're not helping us, they're working against us? You got CNN doing the same thing. You got Democrats doing, this is so much that you don't know. See, Joe Kent doesn't tell you this. Tucker Carlson doesn't tell you this. I love Candace Owens, but she's not telling you the whole story, that at the same time we invade Iran, that fucking France is arming the Ukraine and attacking Russia's energy. They attacked the oil base to stop Russia from being able to produce oil. Escalating. We're trying to get peace, motherfucker. We're in peace talks. And France is attempting to escalate war in the Ukraine. How many people knew that? How many people knew that? That France is trying to escalate the war. France is trying, let's go, let's watch it again. Y'all, let's watch, because people may think, let's watch it again. This is Starmer. I don't know, why the fuck is he sitting with Zelensky? Why his bitch ass ain't in the Straits of Hormuz?
I think today, obviously, we've got a lot to discuss. I think it's really important that we're clear that the focus must remain on Ukraine. There is obviously
today he said the focus must remain on Ukraine. Now, people may think this is an old video, but listen.
Conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East.
So a conflict in Iran. This is recent. He is acknowledging, despite the conflict in Iran, Europe's focus is on Ukraine.
The focus must remain on Ukraine. There is obviously a conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East, but we can't lose focus on what's going on.
Who is the we? You know, a lot of the young people, when you debate the young people, they always do that. Who's your we? Who's the we? What is this we? When he says we cannot lose focus, this is what I mean by NATO. Huh? Huh? So when he says we cannot lose focus, who does he mean by we? He's talking about NATO, but he's not talking about America because America is in Iran. So he's saying despite America, our NATO ally, being in Iran and our sworn promise to support them, we have decided as European countries that our number one focus is going to be Ukraine. Despite America being in Iran and there being our NATO allies and partners, as European countries, our focus must be on the Ukraine.
The focus must remain on Ukraine. There is obviously a conflict in Iran going on in the Middle East, but we can't lose focus on what's going on in Ukraine and the need for our support there. And secondly, it's really...
What's going on in Ukraine? The last thing I thought we had in Ukraine was peace talks. I thought we were getting peace. I thought there was a 28-point peace plan. We have a peace plan in Gaza, a ceasefire in Gaza. All the hostages came home in Gaza. They signed it in fucking in Egypt. It was written in the UAE. I thought we were in Abu Dhabi peace talks in Ukraine. What the fuck is he talking about? I thought the last thing was we were in Abu Dhabi in peace talks. You motherfuckers want to fire the war back up.
Really important that we're clear and consistent that Putin can't be the one who benefits.
Putin can't be the one who benefits. This is what MAGA has been educating you about and what's stalling the peace process. Because France, Macron, and Starmer in the UK don't like the peace agreement that Jared Kushner, Steve Witkoff is putting together. Number one, it says Ukraine can never be part of NATO and never have a motherfucking nuclear weapon. That's the number one thing Russia, and it's been like that. When this is, you remember I just educated you about the Munich Security Councils. I just said Hillary Clinton had no business at the Munich Security Councils trying to escalate the war. Well, how did we even get into Ukraine? Why did somebody asked in the chat, why am I expert? Why are we in Iran? Why did Russia invade the Ukraine? Number one, it started in 2014 when Biden was vice president and he was the border czar of Russia and Ukraine. And Biden got his dirty little son on the board of Burisma. Biden was caught on a hot mic. Biden got Zelensky installed. Biden armed the Azov battalion Nazis. This is when it starts. This is how Ukraine and Russia conflict starts. It actually starts in 2014 under Barack Obama when Joe Biden was vice president doing his dirty little 1-2 in Ukraine. And you know how they do. You know how they do. You know how they do. Yeah, y'all forgot about Burisma. MAGA knows the climate. MAGA didn't forget about Burisma. Somebody in the chat tell about Burisma how much Hunter Biden was getting paid a month. Somebody put in the chat how much Hunter Biden was getting paid a month. What about the hot mic where Biden said, I'm going to hold back this if you don't give me this? You know, a quid pro quo. Can you put in the chat hashtag quid pro quo? How many of you have ever looked it up? I've looked it up because this is a political channel. Because so many people say it so fast. Have you ever looked up? It starts with Q. It's actually three words Latin. Quid pro quo. That's Biden. That's when. So then he installs Zelensky. And then don't forget, so that's how it starts in 2014. But then why does Russia finally invade? Well, Kamala, what we gonna call her today? Is she black? I don't know if she's black. I don't give a fuck if she's black. She could be black if she want to. But is she the motherfucking border czar? Double tap and hit the like button. So Kamala of Camelot, Kamala, Wakanda, whatever her fucking name is, Kamala, when she loses control of the Mexican-American border, it's leaking like a sieve. 300 people coming across the Mexican-American, coming from Yemen, right? Hezbollah, Houthis, TDA, Trenta de Agua, everybody coming across the border, just running across the border. Biden and Kamala, while she's supposed to be securing the Mexican-American border, Kamala Harris is in the Munich Security Councils. Did you guys know that? Kamala Harris is in the Munich Security Councils before Russia invades Ukraine, and Kamala Harris is saying this is very important that you understand what Europe is doing right now in the peace agreement. Kamala Harris says, Ukraine has a right and a desire to be part of NATO. And she says it 3 times. Putin has said over and over since 2014, since you motherfuckers installed Zelensky, the red line for Putin was Ukraine could never be part of NATO and Ukraine could never have a nuclear weapon. Why can Ukraine never be part of NATO? Because if the Ukraine becomes part of NATO, what happens? Then you get a NATO base. Then bases and missiles get put in the Ukraine, and then we have missiles at the border of Russia. That's what they always wanted. The goal for Biden and Europe and these people with these Cold War ideals is they wanted a base in the Ukraine and missiles pointed at Putin so they could point their finger at him. And I don't know why. How does that benefit Americans? It doesn't. How does that benefit the Ukraine? How does that benefit France? Well, France and Europe want to bully Russia for their resources. That's what it comes down to. France and Europe want to bully Russia in the next coming future to be able to suck Russia dry, and they want America's help, right? So what we have in the Ukraine is we have Kamala Harris stoking, basically poking the Russian bear. Kamala Harris saying to the whole globe, just like Hillary Clinton just did last month when Hillary Clinton was in Munich Security Councils, and we to this day don't know why and how Hillary Clinton ends up at the Munich Security Council when she has no representation. She's not anything in America but a motherfucking person. She's not a politician. She's not nothing. She shouldn't have been there talking about Tomahawk missiles. Kamala Harris did the same shit. Oh, Ukraine gets to be part of NATO. Well, guess what Putin did? Putin started to invade Ukraine. And just to show NATO and Biden, and this is the thing no one pays attention to when we talk about Iran and the uptick of proxy violence. So what else did Ayatollah Khomeini and the IRCG and the Shia jihadist Muslims see? They saw Biden leave Iran scared. And then they also saw Vienna, and then they also saw Putin successfully invade Ukraine and Biden not do shit. Biden and Kamala, they let the border get broke down. They didn't do shit about the border. They left Afghanistan in a shambles, creating a power vacuum. Then they let Putin invade the Ukraine. So as all of you listen to Joe Kent, you are not looking at this in a very global perspective, because the people who are our enemies, what you got to understand is that America has enemies, and they saw Sleepy Joe. Our enemies saw Sleepy Joe, right? Our enemies saw Sleepy Joe. They saw Joe in Vienna. Now, remember, I told you about Vienna, and no one tells you about Vienna, right? Based on reports and criticism of early 2026 Biden administration efforts to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, JCPOA in Vienna were widely criticized as stalled, ineffective, or a failure to restrain Iran's nuclear advancement. Critics argue that the approach showed weakness, allowed significant uranium enrichment, and failed to secure long-term concessions. I'm going to say it one more time because I'm a motherfucking critic of Biden and Kamala Harris, and I believe that his inability to be a strong leader is what led to October 7th, the uptick in violence in the Middle East and in America, and how the fuck we ended up in Iran. Let me read it to you again. Critics argue the approach showed weakness, allowed significant uranium enrichment, and failed to secure long-term concessions. Listen, key aspects of Vienna negotiations. Failure to restore the deal. After over 18 months of indirect negotiation talks broke down, critics calling the strategy a failed policy and disaster. Iranian nuclear advancement during negotiation, Iran increased its uranium enrichment to 60% under Joe Biden negotiation, under Joe Biden failure. This is what Joe Kent and the people who dislike Trump but don't have real, actual, factual reasons to dislike Trump leave out of the goddamn conversation. Bibi is lying. Bibi is lying. Bibi is making it up. Bibi is lying. Bibi is a magician. Bibi's behind everything. Bibi is behind everything. Bibi Netanyahu did this. Bibi Netanyahu didn't make Biden fuck up in Vienna. Bibi Netanyahu didn't make Kamala Harris fuck up in the Munich Security Councils. God damn. Bibi Netanyahu did every fucking thing. The magical Jews are so evil, they did every fucking thing. But what about Joe Biden fucking up at the border? What about Joe Biden leaving Afghanistan in a power vacuum with his tail between his fucking legs? What about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris fucking stoking Putin and then not doing shit, looking like fucking pussies? Do you think perhaps, maybe perhaps, if you didn't like America, wouldn't that be the perfect time? And that's when they attacked Israel. If you didn't like Israel, wouldn't that be the perfect time? Wouldn't that, if you were going to attack America, if you were going to attack Israel, wouldn't that be the perfect time when this sleepy motherfucker and this DEI hire is behind the wheel, not knowing how to fucking drive the car? Hey, they supposed to send out a goddamn alert to the whole Middle East, the Houthis, the Hamas, the Hezbollah. Where, America, nobody's guarding the chickens. Nobody is guarding the chickens. Where? And the motherfucking proxies went crazy. And why isn't no one telling you that this actually happened? That the proxies in Iran saw a weakness and they went after the weakness. Trump comes in, closes the border, and drops bombs. Bombs over Baghdad. Don't pull the thing out unless you're ready to bang. Bombs over Baghdad. Don't pull the thing out unless you're ready to bang. Bombs over Baghdad. 12-day war. Dropped two of the biggest bombs under nuclear weapons. Trump closes the border, drops bombs, and then loses hella support. But Trump knew, I knew, this is what it's like to be a boss. Trump is a CEO. He ain't no politician. See, Trump knew he would lose favor, but he had to let Iran know that that sleepy motherfucker is no longer driving the car. If you motherfuckers don't stop proliferating Ukraine, we coming in there. And we about to get revenge for October 7th because we understand what that means. We understand that when you attacked on October 7th, and I mean you, Iran, we understood we no longer could play with the proxies. See, Iran funds Iranian proxies to the tunes of billions of dollars. Hezbollah, 700 million annually. Hamas, you know, the nice little kids, the nice little babies who attacked on October 7th, 300 million motherfucking dollars from Iranian proxy. Hamas is babies. Hamas is kids. They $300 million babies. $300 million a motherfucking year that you don't have, that they spend on motherfucking war as Shia jihadist Muslims. How about that, motherfucker? Why don't they tell you about Kamala Harris? Why don't they tell you how we got into Ukraine? Why don't they tell you how we got into Iran? Because Joe Biden failed. Joe Biden failed. His policy failed. He was a failure. Joe Biden failed. He was a failure. He failed in Vienna. Why don't the people who want to debate Trumpers, you know what you need? Everybody who wants to debate a Trumper, get a champion, bitch. Get a champion, bitch. My champion is Trump, and he's kicking ass. Who is your champion? Gavin Newsom? Nah, he getting fucked off. So that ain't no champion. Who is your champion? Marjorie Taylor Greene? Nope. Nancy Pelosi? Nope. Tim Walz? Nope. Kamala? Nope. Barack Obama? I am so in love with you. Whatever you wanna do, the Democrats will let you do. Steal $1,000 from me. Don't you, babe? I won't arrest you, you fucking thief. That's why we gotta vote for Gavin. Whether never, we gon' steal and wheel and deal and steal. No good motherfuckers, man. No good motherfuckers, man. Oh, man. So let me get back to Biden. Because and it's a lot of black content creators too. It's a lot of black people who empathizing with these white Persians that don't like you. You empathizing with Iranians who are white Persian jihadists. That's fucking hilarious. You are empathizing with Persians who are wealthy white Islamic jihadists, and black people think there's some solidarity there. I can't make that up. Huh? Can't make that up. Let's get back to Biden failures. Double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like. We get the motherfucking likes up, man. What y'all doing, man? What y'all doing, man? Get the likes up, man. Get the likes up, man. What y'all doing, man? Y'all gonna make me drink some water. We gotta stay together. They failed to restore the deal. Iran continued to enrich uranium. This is why we're there. Failed deterrence. Critics argued that Biden administration approach did not deter Iran proxies from attacking U.S. forces, and that shifted away from maximum pressure emboldening Tehran. The $6 billion deal. Can I get hashtag $6 billion deal? Critics strongly. How many of you know about the $6 billion deal? My chat. The Republic of Islam is the reason the war in Iran is happening. Double tap it to like, but we got some intelligent people. I said, I don't like you then. It's okay, homie. I got you. There you go. I help you out. We can help them out. Okay. Trump in recent press briefing told the world that the president of the United States was Gavin Newsom. Okay. That tells us there's problems in the situation. Due diligence, please. I'm gonna help you out, homie. There you go. I'll help you out. Help you out. I love it. So funny. Keep cooking. You know that's what we gonna do, man. We cooking, man. Thursdays is hot like fire, man. Thursdays is hot like fire. Somebody with the woke. We got the Hotep in the building. Stop falling for that left versus right propaganda. Both parties owned and controlled by the largest foreign lobby group, APAC. This is that Hotep bullshit, man. But man, what is you smoking, man? Just put in the chat what strain you smoking, man, because you high as fuck right now. Bud is high. Double tap hit the like button, man. Bud is high. So I had something though. I don't got nothing to wipe my brow. We gotta say we gotta stay together. Loving you weather. That's that bullshit, man. Number one, Trump is president. There's a reason. And you know what I'm so pissed off about? Is this sleepy motherfuckers who make comments like that, man. Because, man, Trump is neither one of those things, man. I remember Trump was in every rap song. Trump is a billionaire, man. Trump just ran Republican because he identified that the Democrats was the dirty motherfuckers. That's why we love Trump so much. It ain't so much about being Republican. It's about being Trump. If you were half intelligent as you want to make that comment to be, then you would get it. Bolton is not on Trump's side. Traditional Republicans and war hawks are not on Trump's side. This is why they don't like Trump. This is why they tried to kill him. Don't forget, Trump got shot and someone died that day. And they just put the second attempt on his life, they just put that guy in jail forever. Trump ain't on no Democrat side or no Republican side. Republican war hawks are with the Ukraine. Republican war hawks are with the Cold War rhetoric. That's why Biden is no different than a Republican. Biden is a motherfucking racist. Biden even wants school buses. Biden is the one who started the motherfucking war in both places. Biden and that version of Democrats are war. They love war. Trump has been doing peace, peace, peace. That's not traditional Democrat or Republican. That's how I know you're smoking dope. You're not paying attention to what I'm saying. You're not paying attention to politics. You just want to say something that you think is smart. You dumb motherfuckers, it's the same wing of the same, but you don't know what the fuck you talking about. You need to go vote for school. City councils are robbing America. Because stupid motherfuckers like you say stupid shit like that in the chat, city councils are robbing America. Motherfucking Spanberger just gave herself triple her salary. I told you New York was broke. It's coming out that New York is fucking broke. Most major American cities are broke. And you are fucking in the chat with your let me block his stupid ass. Talking this stupid ass shit, talking about right and left and all this stupid ass shit, man. Do you vote on the PTA? Do you vote on the school board? Do you vote on the local city council? Do you know who the local city council on the mayor is? No, you stupid motherfucker, because you busy trying to sound smart. You the same type of motherfucker who would talk about Epstein files. The other day I said to you dumb motherfuckers, I said, do you know what the electoral college, these stupid motherfuckers like that is the ones who say don't vote, right? And then I say, okay, stupid motherfuckers say don't vote, but do you know what the electoral college is? And do you know who a delegate is? When we talk about Epstein, this is why you motherfuckers get on my nerves with this shit. Because this is how you need to understand Epstein. Electoral college. Delegates. And what did I say? There are no delegates with a 9 to 5. There are no delegates with a job or a W-2. There are no delegates with a 9 to 5. There are no delegates with a W-2. You dumb. So what you need to understand is that when it comes to politics and Jeffrey Epstein and why the fucking DNC still has $35,000 of Jeffrey Epstein money. Jeffrey Epstein donated to the DNC. Jeffrey Epstein donated to senators. Jeffrey Epstein picked who would run for president. Jeffrey Epstein gave people money like Stacey Plaskett, who was the representative of Virginia where he owned the island, who allowed him to buy a second island despite being a registered sex offender. You have no idea what the fuck you talking about. So is Jeffrey Epstein a Democrat or a Republican? Or does it even fucking matter, bro? You just want to come in the chat, sound smart, but you're saying stupid shit. Virginia just got fucked. You know what I love about Virginia and the dummies? Because they always say, hey, you voted for Trump. Did you get what you voted for? Hey, you voted for Zerani. Did you get what you voted for? Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Hey, you voted for Spanberger. She hasn't been governor for 5 minutes. You know, my mama, my late mother, rest in peace. That's how black old women talk about it. That bitch ain't been governor 5 minutes. She hasn't been governor 5 minutes and she already tripled her salary, brother. How do you triple your salary before you show any success? Before that you've done anything correctly? Before you prove to the people why you deserve to triple, not double, not raise by 20%. Hey, I'm the governor. I'm going to give myself a 5% raise. The bitch tripled her salary. The bitch tripled her salary. She ain't even did shit. Sirani Mandani raised it 9.5%. Sirani Mandani, he ain't been mayor 5 minutes. Sirani Mandani, he ain't been mayor 5 minutes. Already got Muslim carpet, Muslims praying, Muslim this, Muslim that. He ain't been mayor. That's what the fuck you voted for. Did you get what you voted for? Hee hee, ha ha. Did you get what you voted for? Did you get what you... Every day on Twitter. You voted for Trump. Did you get... That's all I want to know. Spanberger, Virginia. Did you get what you voted for? Dog tax. Dog tax. Triple her salary. Did you get what you voted for? Zorani Mondani. Up. You can't even live in New York. Shut down New York. Did you get what you voted for? Did you get... Yeah, motherfucker, yeah. And they quiet. Let me hold on. Wait a minute. Crickets. Did you get what you voted for, Democrats? Mattress tax, dog walking tax. Now think about this, MAGA. First, we give them the news and we laugh at them in their face. Ha ha. Spanberger taxes. Ha ha. And then a week later, what the bitch do? Triple her salary. The bitch, it's the best movie. It's the best. It's the best. It's really the best. It's the best. It's like the best movie. We don't even have to write it, MAGA, we don't even have to write it. The bitch lays out all these taxes. She did the response to the Trump State of the Union. Longest State of the Union, most successful State of the Union. Trump gives awards to the hockey players. The dumb Democrats fuck around and don't stand up. They're going to have to live with that in 2026 midterms. And then Spanberger does the rebuttal, and the bitch does all these taxes and then triple. I mean, you can't make it up. It's the best. It's the best. It's the best. It really is. Because it's like, oh yeah, I know a lot of you saying, fuck, that's right. Spanberger did do the rebuttal to the State of the Union. Oh my God, this guy is on his shit. Yeah, I'm on my shit, bro. I'm on my shit, bro. And don't forget, Obama is the reason why you have Spanberger. Obama, your Wakanda, your black mama. Obama, Wakanda, the black mamba. Obama, Wakanda, the black mamba. The reason you have Spanberger is Obama put his finger on the scale. There was a black woman, a Negro black woman from the Negro South, not an African like Obama, not a Jamaican like Kamala, but a real black person. Double tap. This has got to be funny. It has to be fucking funny. It's so absurd. It's fucking funny. Not from Kenya with a white mama, not Jamaican with a white daddy, but a real Negro, a black woman, was winning in the polls and was going to be governor of Virginia. But see, there was a problem with that black woman. Can anybody put in the chat, what was the problem with the black woman who was going to win governor in Virginia? Why didn't Barack Obama? Because he told us to vote for Kamala because she's black. Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. So why didn't Obama support the black woman in Virginia? She's black, like your mama. Your mama's black. Blackity, blackity, black, black, black. She's black like your mama. Barack Obama. Oh, wait, your mama white. God dog it. See, the problem with the black woman running for governor in Virginia was she's a Republican. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Yeah. Sorry. Let me hit it. Sorry. So she's a black woman. She was going to win. She's a good politician. She's a black woman like Kamala Harris. But she was a Republican. So she wasn't a Republican. And my research says she was a Republican, but find it in the chat. $10. Shout out to you, brother, for the $10 super chat. Man, thank God we got people like you around. Every day I look and notice how people have lost their minds. At least here, you are not blind. Thank you, sir. God bless the USA. God bless the USA every day, all day. Rangers lead the way. Bro, you sweating hard. I know, man. It's a heat wave in California, man. And you see me in here acting up. My wife gonna be home in a minute, y'all. Y'all get them super chats, get them double taps up, man. What I want to show y'all, man. Because my wife gonna be home in a minute. Afternoon delight. Let me get back to what else I was reading you. So let me talk to you about the failed deterrence. Critics argued that Biden administration approach did not deter Iran proxies from attacking U.S. forces. That's what I argue, that ever since Biden became president, that there was an uptick in proxy violence based on the facts I've given you, not just my opinion, based on the facts I've given you. Their failures in Vienna, their failures in Afghanistan, their failures in the Ukraine, right? These are things you cannot hide from. Now, let's go to the $6 billion deal, which my chat educated me. You know what I love about this thing? That some content creators can be real. I'm a real content creator. I show love to my chat. My chat educated me on Maduro and Marco Rubio. And they just illuminated my mind when it came to Marco Rubio and how well he's doing in his current station. Just totally. My chat is the one who educated me on the FACE Act. When we talked about Don Lemon, my chat And then somebody said, read something earlier. I got to go back and read it. But my chat educated me on the FACE Act. So I'm doing a show on Don Lemon, and I'm pissed off that Don Lemon violated these people's rights. And then people in my chat say, hey, perfect. Thank you. Just like somebody just gave $10 and said, thank you. That day, somebody said, thank you, perfect, for doing this story. Please look up the FACE Act. Don Lemon violated the FACE Act. I didn't know what it was. So together we went to Google, we Googled the FACE Act. We found out that it was a law created recently, and that under the Biden administration, Biden successfully prosecuted women and put them in jail under the FACE Act. How many people know that the Biden administration used the FACE Act to put American women in jail, mothers? How many of you know? My chat is the best chat. So when I say W chat, I'm not trying to copy anyone. I'm saying W chat because I have an intelligent chat room, and they are some bad motherfuckers. They are some bad motherfuckers. Straight up. So when we were talking about Iran, fuck yeah, Tucker Carlson is, and I love Tucker. You know the thing about family and friends, you could disagree, right? We don't have to crash out on Tucker. And I wish more people would do that with Trump when you disagree with Trump. You don't have to crash out on Trump. I don't agree with Candace on Iran or Joe Kent. I still love Candace Owens. I don't agree with Tucker Carlson on Iran. I still love Tucker Carlson, so I don't have to talk shit about Tucker Carlson, and I don't have to talk shit about Candace Owens. I don't know why people do that. We don't have to agree on everything. I'm not fucking him. I'm not fucking her. That's how my mama would say it. Don't that sound? It sounds vulgar, but black women sometimes they push it the best. I'm not fucking him. I'm not fucking her. So I don't have to agree with him on everything. I don't have to agree with her on everything. You understand? That's how a black mother would put it. I know that puts it better for you guys. What was I was just talking about? Let's get back to the $6 billion deal. The $6 billion deal. So my chat room, I was just giving props to the chat room. So my chat room is the one who told me that, reminded me that Biden and Obama policy toward Iran. Not only did they fail in Vienna, I don't know if my chat taught me about Vienna or did I find Vienna. I'll give y'all props on Vienna too. So when we learned about Vienna and Biden's failure to stop them from enriching uranium, in fact, that they started to uptick, they enriched even more uranium under Biden, 60% more. What we found is my chat said, hey, perfect. They were paying them. I said, get the fuck out of here. Because sometimes my chat be so advanced and they tell me some shit that just don't even sound like, what do you mean they were paying them? They said, yeah, Biden was paying Iran to not enrich uranium, but they kept doing it even more. Why wouldn't you? It's like America was paying you to create a nuclear bomb. It's almost like if you scratch your head, like, did these motherfuckers want them to have a bomb? Why would you give them $600 billion if they already had uranium? If they didn't have a bomb, they could have a bomb now. You stupid motherfucker. You just gave them $600 billion and they already had uranium? What the fuck? That was hella dumb. So let's read it. Let me read what my chat taught me. The $600 billion deal. Critics strongly criticized the Biden administration for releasing frozen Iranian funds as part of a prisoner swap, labeling it as paying an extortion racket. Strategic miscalculation. The U.S. negotiating team was accused of taking a weak position, offering premature concessions, and relying on mediators, which led to a loss of leverage in talks. No shit. DEI. So when I say Kamala was a DEI hire and Biden was sleepy and feckless, it's not an insult anymore, you guys. It's backed up by facts. The $6 billion deal. Critics strongly criticized the Biden administration for releasing frozen Iranian funds as part of a prisoner swap, labeling it paying an extortion racket. Prisoner swap? What do you mean? There is no threat from violence from Iran. Why would Biden do a prisoner swap? There's no threat, Joe Kent. Right, Joe Kent? There's no threat. Strategic miscalculation. That sounds like Joe Kent. And I'm so glad you're not in the administration no more. Go sit the fuck down. You should have retired when your wife passed away. You did 11 tours. Thank you for your service. Sit the fuck down. Have several seats. Strategic miscalculation. The U.S. negotiating team was accused of taking a weak position. Which U.S. negotiating team? Biden, Kamala, offering premature concessions and relying on mediators, which led to a loss of leverage in talks. You can't make this shit up. Right? Who else is giving you this information? Biden administration has failed to act transparently or assertively in actions and negotiation with Iranian regime. Facts. Facts. That's how we got to Iran, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we got to Iran, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all, let me say that again. Y'all want to put it in the chat? Biden administration has failed to act transparently or assertively in actions and negotiations with Iranian regime. It sounds so good, I want to say it again. Biden administration failed to act transparently. That means they were in secret when they paid him the money. Assertively, they were feckless and weak. Like I said, I'm not insulting them. And actions and negotiations with the Iranian regime. That's how we got to Iran. That's how we got to Iran. No one is telling you the real deal spiel. That's how we got to Iran. Huh? That's how we got to Iran. Now we got this oil thing going on today, and now let's get into the oil shit. Let's go to Scott Bessick, and he's going to tell you solutions that we already have, because I know people play hating on the oil and saying the Straits of Hormuz is closed and all this bullshit. But I told you my opinion on the Straits of Hormuz being closed. My opinion of the Straits of Hormuz being closed is the same as Cuba not having oil. If the Straits of Hormuz are closed, to me, Iran is effectively closed. So I believe Trump may be playing a little bit of, a waiting game, like someone put in the chat earlier, because I think that what's wrong with the Straits of Hormuz being closed, there's going to be a little pain at the pump, but basically Iran cannot survive. Iran cannot survive if the Straits of Hormuz are closed. But people will say India is going to be affected. India going to have to make a deal. Russia going to have to start buying American oil. Everybody going to have to start buying American oil. American companies going to make some money. We eventually going to open up the Straits of Hormuz after we win the Iran conflict. But what the people are leaving out when they talk about the Straits of Hormuz, and I believe Trump is using the Straits of Hormuz to expose NATO's unalliance, right? I don't believe we really want the Straits of Hormuz open. We don't need it. I'm going to play a video to show that. I believe we want to keep the Straits of Hormuz closed till we can seal the deal in Iran. Why would we want Iran to be able to make money and sell oil? Can anybody answer me that? Why would we want Iran to make money and sell oil? The oil is going to go to China. We already postponed our meeting with Xi Jinping. Trump was going to have a meeting with Xi Jinping about nuclear and peace talks and tariffs and oil and all that shit because China needs some help. I told you China needs help demographically. We postponed that meeting. And the Straits of Hormuz are closed. Isn't it great that we can blame the rest of the world on the Straits of Hormuz being closed? Trump has basically successfully got everybody to believe that, hey, it ain't my fault. It ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault. Did I do that? So Trump has closed the Straits of Hormuz, cut the neck off the snake. Cut the neck off the snake. How do they fund Hamas? How do they fund Hezbollah? How do they fund the proxies? Well, through Iranian oil. If the Straits of Hormuz are closed, Iran is closed. Somebody said Iran is a gas station. I thought that was an insult, but I said, okay, if Iran is a gas station, what happens if the gas station can no longer sell gas? It's not a gas station anymore. It's closed. So if the gas station can no longer sell gas, it closes, it goes out of business, homeboy. The Straits of Hormuz, in my opinion, I know we're supposed to act like we want the Straits of Hormuz back open, but my understanding of geopolitics and what is going on in Cuba and what really is going on in Iran, I'm not in the rush to open the Straits of Hormuz. Not until Iran makes a deal. I say we keep a chokehold, but I got to pretend like, we want it open. But look how Trump is playing 4D chess. So we close the straits and we make NATO look bad. And by making NATO look bad, Trump is like, damn, you guys, I'm sorry. I got to keep it closed. I'm sorry. I got to keep the Straits of Hormuz closed. I don't want to. I think we do. I think we do.
Maria, to be clear, this is a coordinated effort. We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary, choke point there. And there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels. So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next 10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign. So we have lots of levers. We've got plenty more that we can do. The largest coordinated SPR release in history, 400 million barrels, was approved last week. And some countries are going to do more. The U.S. could unilaterally do another SPR release to keep the price down. As you will have noted, WTI and its European counterpart Brent have substantially diverged over the past few trading sessions. They were trading right on top of each other last week. And this is because the U.S., thanks to President Trump in his first term, the continuing efforts here, is virtually energy independent.
Yes.
And when President Trump says our allies should join us in a coalition along the Straits of Hormuz,
Shell pipeline, drill, baby, drill. See, he's basically saying what I'm saying without saying it. Well, America is self-sufficient. Drill, baby, drill. Can I get drill, baby, drill in the chat? Oh, I love Scott. Whoa, that MAGA. Whoa, that MAGA. Whoa, that MAGA. Because of Trump. Because of Trump. Because of Trump. Golly. America is self-sufficient, and Trump built up the army in the first term. That's why we able to invade Iran, go to Venezuela, get Cuba, do all the things we doing. Double tap at the like button because of Trump. Scott Bassett, did you hear what he said? We're going to use the Iranian oil against them. So there is oil in the water. There's oil in the water. Can somebody say in the water? Can I get in the water? There's oil in the water. So there's 150 barrels in the water. There's another 150 barrels. That's 2 weeks worth of oil. So they are alluding to the fact that we're going to keep this going for another 2 weeks. We're going to steal their oil, use it for us. That oil was going to China. That oil was going to China. That Iranian oil, we're going to steal it, just like in Venezuela. America. We're coming for the oil, America. We're going to take their oil. We're keeping the oil in the chat right now. And because they kept asking about Venezuela. What you going to do with the oil? What you going to do with the oil? Right now in the chat. And we keeping the oil. So Scott Bassett, with the oil issues with the Straits of Hormuz closed, just said, well, don't worry, America. There is oil on the horizon. There's oil on the water, and we're going to take that Iranian oil because those ships have stopped moving because of insurance in America shutting down the Straits of Hormuz. So that oil was on its way to China, but we're going to take it. And we're going to keep kicking their ass for the next 2 weeks. And they ain't going to be able to sell no oil, make no money. They can't keep making missiles for too long and drones for too long. Everybody keeps saying, well, they only cost $20,000 to make their drones. It only costs $20,000 to make their drones. They can make as many drones. They only cost $20,000. Yeah? What if they don't have any $20,000? Double tap, hit the like button. What if they don't have any more 20,000s? Huh? Because we shut down the Straits of Hormuz, and just so happens, drill baby drill has led to America being self-sufficient, and we don't need Iranian oil. We don't need Iranian oil. And don't forget, did we just give Venezuela? Did we just give Venezuela? I said, did we just get Venezuela? If we needed motherfucking oil, Venezuela has the largest crude deposits in the globe. Did we not just get Venezuela? And I said, we're keeping the oil. One more time, Scott Bessett addressing all of the haters.
Maria, to be clear, this is a coordinated effort. We had a break the glass plan across the administration and at Treasury. We unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water. And we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz. So we
unsanctioned Russian oil. Y'all listening? We unsanctioned Russian oil. Now remember when I played earlier, Starmer is bombing Russia. Starmer and Macron is giving Ukraine missiles. We're in peace talks in Abu Dhabi. The NATO is supposed to be our allies and partners. We're fucking making deals with Russia. Russia is potentially using the petrodollar, buying American oil. Russia potentially is coming back into the G8 via our peace agreement with Ukraine. Starmer has said Putin can't benefit. Starmer doesn't want Russia in the G8. Starmer and Macron don't like our peace talks. So we just unsanctioned Russian oil. I bet you Starmer don't like that shit either. Is y'all listening? See, you got to listen to everything. You can't just listen to Joe Kent. You can't just listen to Joe Kent.
Across the administration and at Treasury, we unsanctioned Russian oil. We knew that there were about 130 million barrels on the water, and we created supply that is beyond the Straits of Hormuz.
Amen.
So we anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary choke point there. And
I like that choke point. Scott, you're giving it away, Scott. Double tap, hit the like button. Scott, you're giving it all away, Scott. We're choking Iran. We're choking them out. There, we knew it would be that because we want to choke them out and stomp them out like we did Cuba. What the fuck is war, baby? We're choking them out. We knew we would cut the Straits of Hormuz because it's a choke point. Double tap at the like button. Well, we don't know what we're doing in Iran. We don't know what we're doing in Iran. Shut up. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. That's the truth. You don't know what you're talking about. He said choke point. Who are we choking? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Bueller?
We anticipated this. We knew that there could be a temporary, and I want to emphasize temporary choke point there. And there was 130 million barrels of floating storage. In the coming days, we may unsanctioned the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels. So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days.
So we took some oil from Russia. Don't you love the terminology? I love Scott. So instead of saying, my bad, Scott, you know, I'm a little ghetto. Scott, I could be ghetto. Scott, I said steal the oil. Scott, my bad. We not stealing no oil. Ladies and gentlemen, can y'all say, y'all ghetto ass need to calm down? Hashtag his ghetto ass need to calm down. Double tap at the like button. So whenever I go to my wife and I'm about to steal some of that good coochie, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna unsanction the coochie. I'm not stealing the coochie. We gonna unsanction the coochie around this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It must be some sanctions on the coochie in this motherfucker. So we gonna unsanction the coochie. Thank you, Scott. I'm gonna use that in my repertoire. He said we're going to unsanction Russian oil. That means we taking the oil. And he said we potentially could unsanction Iranian oil. That's 140 barrels over there, 130 million barrels over there. Unsanction the coach. Hey!
Sanction the Iranian oil that's on the water. It's about 140 million barrels. So depending on how you count it, that's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China. And
where was it gonna go? Woo! Ooh, Trump, Mark Rubio, Scott Bessick. Ooh, Trump at me and kicking ass. Where was Scott? One more time for the people in the back of the room. Scott, I don't think everybody heard you. Scott said we're not going to steal the oil, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to unsanction the oil. Can we put in the chat, unsanction the coochie? We're going to unsanction the oil from Russia, 130 million, potentially unsanction the coochie. The oil from Iran, another 140 million. That's what he said. And then what was the last part? Hold on, Scott. One more time, Scott. I got so excited about unsanctioned the coochie, I didn't forgot what the fuck. Hold on, Scott. Say it again.
That's 10 days to 2 weeks of supply that the Iranians had been pushing out. That would have all gone to China.
It was going to go to China. Scott, that's what I wanted you to say. Where was it going to go, Scott? It was going to go to China. It's going to go to China. Scott said the oil was going to go to China. Not no more. Not no. See how we doing this? We starving China. We starving Cuba. We didn't put a choke on Iran. But Joe Kent, Candace Owens, and Tucker is saying we don't know what we doing and we losing. It don't sound like it if you listen to my show. If you listen to the facts on the ground, Cuba is no longer going to be communist, and Iran is choking. Iran is choking.
In essence, we will be using the Iranian barrels against the Iranians to keep the price down for the next 10 or 14 days as we continue this campaign. So we have lots of levers. We've got plenty more that we can do. The largest coordinated SPR release in history, 400 million barrels, was approved last week. And
so that was our oil reserves on top of the 150 million in the Iran choke point. We also just released 400 million from our reserves.
Some countries are going to do more. The U.S. could unilaterally do another SPR release to keep the price down. As you will have noted, WTI and its European counterpart Brent have substantially diverged over the past few trading sessions. They were trading right on top of each other last week. And this is because the U.S., thanks to President Trump in his first term, the continuing efforts here, is virtually energy independent.
Say that again. Say that again. The U.S., because of Trump, drill baby drill, Shell pipeline. Scott, can you remind the American people who are worried about this Iran conflict? And don't forget, Scott, Scott left out that we got Venezuela.
The U.S., thanks to President Trump in his first term, the continuing efforts here, is virtually energy independent. Yeah. And when President Trump says our allies should join us in a coalition along the Straits of Hormuz, that they're the ones who need this oil. The U.S., we're an oil exporter.
Yes, Scott! Yes, Scott! They the ones who need this oil. The U.S., we're oil exporter. Can y'all put that? I love it, baby. I love the U.S. is an oil exporter. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Double tap at the like button. But we're not done. We're not done. You still want more oil. They said they still want perfect timing podcast. It's not enough oil. It's not enough, you guys. We want more oil. We want more oil, perfect. We want more. I got you. I got you. More oil coming now.
The state's Democratic governor and potential presidential candidate says he will sue to stop it. Senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is at the pipeline site tonight in Santa Barbara. Good evening, William.
So to tee up the video, what I have for you here is there is a pipeline in California. How many people knew there's an oil pipeline in California? And Hollywood elites have been protesting to stop the oil pipeline from being reopened. Did y'all know that California oil pipeline is ready to reopen? How many people knew that? So we had oil on top of oil, but they want to keep it closed. Oil pipeline reopened by Donald Trump, Gavin Newsom, and Hollywood is trying to stop us from getting our oil. Double tap, hit the like button.
Tonight, oil is once again flowing through a long-shuttered pipeline in California.
Tonight, oil is once again flowing through a long-shuttered pipeline in California, thanks to Donald Trump. Breaking news, everybody. Breaking news. Donald Trump just reopened a closed oil pipeline off the coast of California. Hollywood elites are having a hissy fit.
Tonight, oil is once again flowing through a long-shuttered pipeline in California. The state's Democratic governor and potential presidential candidate says he will sue to stop it. Senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is at the pipeline site tonight in Santa Barbara. Good evening, William.
Good evening, Brett. You know, California banned offshore drilling in 1969, but the rigs you see behind me, Exxon developed in the 80s in federal waters because of the huge reserves off Santa Barbara. But these rigs have been dormant for a decade till Friday when President Trump turned on the tap. Hollywood celebrities last year protested the reopening of a major oil pipeline.
It is, they'll tell lies up the kazoo in order to justify drilling for oil at a time when we shouldn't be doing that.
In 2015, the state effectively closed oil rigs off the Santa Barbara coast when a pipeline carrying the crude burst. The new owner repaired the pipe, but the state still opposes restarting production.
The Trump administration has no ground to stand on. The law is clear. These pipelines fall within California's jurisdiction.
But Friday, President Trump used his authority to override the state and reopen the pipeline.
We're going to fill up 6 million Californian consuming cars every month with our oil out of Sable offshore. And if that's not impactful to California, I don't know what is.
California oil production has dropped dramatically in recent decades, forcing dozens of refineries to close, leading the state to become more dependent on foreign oil. Nonetheless, Governor Gavin Newsom opposes the pipeline. California will not allow this desperate political stunt to put our coastal communities and environment at risk. So the 3 wells here are currently pumping out 50,000 barrels a day, enough to fuel hundreds of thousands of cars. But the state is going to challenge the administration in court, arguing that the pipeline is on state land. So, Brett, it could be up to a federal judge if the oil still flows. Back to you.
We'll follow that. William Lajeunesse, live in Santa Barbara. William, thanks.
Can y'all believe it? Again, did y'all know about the overtime and the tips that California said that they would not honor Trump's overtime and tips? And then when we did the research, it's like 50,000 that we showed a young lady who was a waitress, and it was like 50,000 that Trump totally allowed. So as you look at what Gavin Newsom, how Gavin Newsom is destroying California, in my title, my lead-in was about the fact that I've been saying I don't believe California goes blue. After Gavin Newsom has did such a horrible job in California, there's no way California goes blue. I reminded people that California gave us the governor. Arnold Schwarzenegger was a Republican. The governor, after how do we say, crony Democrats. Who remembers Enron? You remember the Enron scandal and those horrible Democrats in California? And anybody wanted to know, how did you get a Republican? How did you get Arnold Schwarzenegger? Well, the Democrat who came before Arnold Schwarzenegger was so bad. The Democrat was so bad that Californians needed and wanted and cried out for a change. That's how you got the governor. I predict that it will happen again. Here's a report. After you just hear about Gavin Newsom trying to stop oil, and I just gave you a story about how badly oil is needed in the global market right now, how bad oil is needed on the global market right now with the Straits of Hormuz in a choke point. Gavin Newsom is suing Trump for opening up this pipeline, but we are in an election year. Gavin Newsom can no longer be governor. It is very interesting who is leading the polls in California for governor. I said red wave. Double tap at the like button.
The very real possibility of an historic upset in California as a new poll finds 2 Republican candidates leading in California's gubernatorial primary. Our next guest is at the top of that poll, says there's a revolution brewing in California. California gubernatorial candidate Steve Hilton joins me now. Steve, great to see you as always. You are our former colleague, so obviously we really like you. But how the heck are you, a conservative, leading the polls in such a liberal state like California?
Well, the answer to that question is a very simple four-letter word. It's called MAGA, and it stands not for Make America Great Again, like the president would say, but the guy who's obviously on a presidential campaign right now across the country, Gavin Newsom. MAGA stands for Most Useless Governor in America. And that's Gavin Newsom, because California has the worst results of any state in America. We have the highest poverty rate, the highest unemployment rate, the highest cost of living, highest gas prices, highest cost for everything, insurance, housing, water, rent, you name it, car registration, everything costs a fortune. You've got crime, you've got homelessness, the wildfire disaster, everything's a disaster. And so people are saying, we've had enough. We've had enough of this. We need change in California. And I've been traveling the state, putting out a strong, positive alternative. $3 gas, cut your electric bills in half, your first $100,000 tax-free, no more free healthcare for illegal immigrants, a home you can afford to buy. I capture it in one word, Californiable. That's my campaign.
I love it. I love it. Hashtag Californiable. No more free healthcare for immigrants. Her first 100,000 tax-free. Californiable. Maybe people might move back to California or stop leaving. Holy moly, let's go. I want to see Californiable. How about you?
Tax-free. No more free healthcare for illegal immigrants. A home you can afford to buy. I capture it in one word, Californiable. That's my campaign. And people are really getting behind it. And it's great to see the energy and momentum that we've got.
But Steve, it's not just you. It's not just one Republican candidate at the top of the ticket. There's two. And admittedly, you are beating Chad Bianco 17-16 in this latest poll. But look at the
look at the ticker, you guys. It's the perfect timing podcast. I told you there is a red wave. The Democrats, there is no hope for the Democrats in 2026 and 2028. God forbid the Democrats stop sipping their TDST and start paying attention to actual politics and start getting some constituency and start building fucking policy, bro. Start fucking doing the fucking job, because you are well behind the fucking mark. You are well behind the fucking mark everywhere we look. He said not just the top, but the top two. So California is going red. I said it, bro. California is going red. I told you my daddy was coming home. I told you my daddy was coming home. California going red, bro. California going red, bro. But can you be surprised?
two people behind you two. Eric Swalwell there at 13%, Katie Porter also at 13%. How much are these numbers also a rejection of all the candidates, namely Swalwell and Porter, that the Democrats are putting out there?
Yeah, and there's another one. If you look at the Real Clear Politics average right now, I'm not sure it takes into account that latest poll, but the numbers are going to be pretty much the same. You've got Katie Porter on 10, you've got Chad Bianco, and another one, Tom Steyer, the billionaire climate fanatic, on 11%, Swalwell on 13, and I'm on 15.5. So whichever way you look at it, the Democrats that they're putting forward, as the president might say, they're not sending their best. These people are exactly the same kind of far left insanity and useless career politicians that we've had now, and everyone's fed up with it. Look at who you've got in charge in California, Karen Bass and Newsom and all these people. Does anyone think that Swalwell or Katie Porter or Tom Steyer is going to take us in a different direction? Of course not.
No.
And people really want a new direction. And that's why I think, despite, of course, people look at California and say, well, it's so hard for a Republican to win, a deep blue state and all the rest of it. That may have been true in the past, but this year it's going to change. There's another really big thing everyone across the country should understand. We've got voter ID on the ballot in November in California. I know we're all talking about the SAVE Act, but here in California, it's on the ballot in November. That's going to mean a really big Republican turnout. And that's another reason why I'm very confident that in November I'll be elected the new Republican governor of California.
I mean, we're certainly watching for that. Obviously, Democrats are going to be under a lot of pressure to coalesce around one candidate to go against you, to go against Biacco heading into June. We will see if that happens because the egos involved are large on the Democratic side. And this could set up nicely for you, Steve Hilton, to become the next governor of California. We can say we knew you when. Steve Hilton, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it.
I agree. We can say we knew you win. I agree. That's what we're talking about. So it's not just Iran. There's a domino effect of all the things we talk about on the channel. Double tap, hit the like button. We're going to keep going with the information.
The reality is, though, as this continues, as our officers continue to not receive a pay. The reality is, though, as this continues, as our officers continue to not receive a paycheck, if this stretches into weeks, again, this is, rates are going to continue to go up. We're going to have individuals that can't afford to go into work, and individuals quit possibly altogether. The overwhelming majority of individuals are continuing to show up, but that's just the reality of the situation. We don't know how much longer they're going to hold on for, and that's why we've signaled to airports, but also to everyone else that, as this continues, it's going to continue to impact staffing at airports as well. Just for security purposes, don't want to speak to specific kind of indicators and factors that drive our determinations. Staffing will definitely be an essential kind of component of that, but we incorporate a variety of other streams of information, including threat, intelligence as well. But again, we're going to continue to make that determination on a case-by-case basis daily. Over the past week or so, we've seen issues, particularly Houston, Atlanta, JFK, Philadelphia has had high numbers in the 3 or 4 hour wait time, ballpark. And so we're going to continue to survey and monitor those wait times, and we're going to continue again to also monitor call rates and a variety of other factors, which will help again drive our operational tempo on a day-to-day basis.
So airport closures loom. TSA lines, you heard them, Houston. This official from TSA, people are calling out, people are quitting. Airport closures may be instituted depending if people continue to call out and quit and not come in. This is what I'm reporting. I've been sharing this news with you. It's a sad story. It's spring break.
It's out the door and
it's spring break. Hours long. Now we talking about some airports may even have to close.
Good morning. I will tell you, I don't even think the word busy is right to describe what's going on at AUS Airport right now. The lines, we've never seen lines like this. To put this in perspective, our photographer, Todd, right now, who was filming me, said he's lived there for 10 years. He's never seen it like this. So I want to give you a look first at what we're dealing with. This is far, far outside of the airport. Stretching, weaving in and out of the airport, stretching far outside. It's not even just out the door. It's out the door. And as far as we can see, there are people waiting in line here. Now, there's a few reasons why this is. We know it's South by Southwest, it's festival season. We also know that it's spring break for a lot of people. Austin ISD, University of Texas on spring break. Also, there's a partial government shutdown going on that's impacting a TSA. But here to put this more into perspective is Cole. You missed your flight already. Can you talk about, you didn't even get in line. I asked him to just speak with us here because you said it's no use. What's going through your head?
Yeah, there's no point of going in that line all the way down there. My flight's at 6:30. I'm not even going to try and make it. I'm going to see what the next best option is, maybe San Antonio.
Wow. Wow, double tap, hit the like button, man. Let me see. You got Trump. Let's see what else we got with the there's more I want to share with you about what's going on. There's more.
Good morning. I will tell you.
5 hours ago.
TSA lines have hour-long wait times. We're giving you a live look this morning on the inside of the terminal, and you can see officials are blaming the partial government shutdown and TSA call-outs as workers go without pay for these long lines. is growing at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, where TSA lines have hour-long wait times.
36% of TSA call out. 36% of TSA agents call out. 36% of TSA agents call out.
Scheduled absences among hours at some airports, 4 hours at some airports. And you wonder why? It's because unscheduled absences among airport security officers have more than doubled since the shutdown. 300 employees have quit.
I mean, they haven't been getting a paycheck. And remember, this is the second round of a shutdown today. So they missed 2 paychecks the first time. I think they've already missed 1 paycheck this time around. Senator Katie Britt, who is normally pretty calm, was quite furious about it. Here she is.
We are now 24, 25 days into a government shutdown with a department that is actually charged with keeping Americans safe. We also know that there is the ability to have increased threats. And the agency, whether it be Coast Guard, TSA, CISA, Secret Service, CBP, and ICE,
Hours at some airports, 4 hours at some airports. And you wonder why? It's because unscheduled absences among airport security officers have more than doubled since the shutdown. 300 employees have quit.
I heard reports of 500 employees. I heard reports of 500 employees.
Out paychecks, thanks to the Democrats' again latest government shutdown. The lines were hours long at airports in Houston, New Orleans, and elsewhere. So this is a partial shutdown targeted at the Department of Homeland Security because Democrats don't like ICE. ICE was funded with the big, beautiful bill.
Right.
The president had the forethought to make sure it was funded. Travelers at the Houston Hobby Airport reported waiting up to 4 hours.
Honestly, didn't expect the ridiculousness of how big this line is.
It was like something out of a movie. Lines were out the door, and unfortunately, we missed our flight. So this is our second time back, and we are back in line again.
TSA agents are working without paychecks, thanks to the Democrats' again latest government shutdown. The lines were hours long at airports in Houston, New Orleans, and elsewhere. So this is a partial shutdown targeted at the Department of Homeland Security because Democrats don't like ICE. ICE was funded with the big, beautiful bill. The president had the forethought to make sure it was funded. Travelers at the Houston Hobby Airport reported waiting up to 4 hours.
Honestly.
So anybody going to fly, put it in the chat right now. Anybody got plans to fly? Anybody got sons or daughters coming in this weekend? Let me know. Put it in the chat right now. Anybody got plans to fly?
As they spend hours in TSA lines at airports across the country, we're talking wait times up to 3 hours at some airports.
Now, packing your patience is free, but it's annoying. The TSA is seeing staffing shortages as the partial shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security closes in on 1 month here. TSA workers are about to miss their first full paycheck. We've seen an aviation correspondent, Pete Muntean, with us now. I mean, this is just so tough for those folks that are working so hard and they're not, you know, they're looking toward not getting paid. What's going on here?
Well, you have to think and approach this with a lot of empathy. They have to take time off in some cases to care for kids because they simply can't afford to pay for daycare. Here is the latest on the delays. The hours-long delays, not over yet. And the latest from Houston Hobby Airport, one of the worst in the country, is that the wait to get through TSA is about 3 hours long right now. That's the worst nationwide. New Orleans reporting 2 hour long waits. DFW, 37 minutes. Atlanta, 32 minutes. Miami, 30 minutes. Those numbers really pale in comparison to what Houston Hobby looked like yesterday. Hobby, a major hub, really the headquarters for.
So that's what we got with the airport shutdown, man. We still in shutdown. One of the biggest things I like about that is that Trump had the foresight to make sure that ICE was funded. They said that purposely because Biden did not have the foresight to make sure that Obamacare was funded. We don't hear anything about that anymore, though, right? We don't hear anything about that anymore, though, right? They could have did that and put that in the bill, but they didn't. Let's
Dr. Bill, the government.
California hospice more on California fraud, California hospice fraud. Dr. Oz, Nick Shirley exposing California fraud.
One doctor billed the government $120 million in a single year, claiming to oversee 1,900 patients. With almost 2,000 hospice agencies, LA County has more than 36 states combined and 30 times more than either Florida or New York.
18% of the whole country's home healthcare billing is coming out of Los Angeles County. How is that possible?
And take a look at this map, a cluster of 287 hospice providers in a 2-mile radius, some in strip malls, unmarked buildings, even a wrecking yard and vacant lot.
All of it is just paperwork. I could fill that out in Kazakhstan if I want and get a hospice license waiting for me.
One doctor billed the government $120 million in a single year, claiming to oversee 1,900 patients. With almost 2,000 hospice agencies, LA County has more than 36 states combined and 30 times more than either Florida or New York.
18% of the whole country's home healthcare.
Hours to go until temporary protected status for Somalia is expected to expire.
But a federal judge's order just last week could delay it. Our Audrey Russo's in the newsroom with what we know at this hour. Hey, Audrey.
Yeah, Homeland Security is poised to terminate temporary protected status for Somali nationals at 11:59 tonight. Now, Friday, a judge halted that expiration, giving Somali nationals with TPS momentary relief to plan their next move. Now, take a look at this. Minneapolis city officials posted on social media. You can see right there, they're encouraging those with TPS to talk to a lawyer and seek other legal avenues to stay in the country. Right now, there's roughly 400 Somali nationals in Minnesota with TPS. Now, temporary protected status was offered to Somali nationals back in the 90s as they fled civil war in the country. The Trump administration vowed to end it back in January, encouraging Somali nationals to self-deport by offering them a free plane ticket and a $1,000 exit bonus. Now, Friday's ruling from the federal judge gives both the feds and immigration advocates the chance to file their arguments. But this is just the start of what could be a lengthy legal battle.
TPS expiration 3/17. Somalians got to go home.
From ending the temporary protected status of Somalis here in the U.S. The designation was a court ruling is blocking the Trump administration from ending the temporary protected status of Somalis here in the U.S. The designation was set to begin on Tuesday, but the court ruling changed everything. Now people here in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood will keep a close eye on the program and see how this all plays out in the court system.
Let's get some details in case you don't know what the TPS.
The administration just made a pretty big change to U.S. immigration policy, and it affects Somali nationals. So on January 12th, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem announced the termination of temporary protected status for Somalia, a designation that's been in place since 1991 during civil war and instability. About 2,471 Somali nationals currently holding TPS, plus around 1,383 with pending applications, will lose that protection. Their status is set to expire on March 17th, 2026, and those affected are expected to leave the country or face deportation. Noem was clear, temporary means temporary. She said conditions in Somalia have improved and keeping TPS open is no longer in the national interest, especially as the administration pushes tougher enforcement. This decision hits Minnesota particularly hard since it has the largest Somali community in the United States. Roughly 600 TPS holders reside there, though most Somali Minnesotans are U.S. citizens or born here and won't be directly affected. So I'll work to keep you guys up to date, but that's all I got for now. Just a reminder, I have a free email newsletter I send out every morning around 7 a.m. Central. It's a good place to kind of stay up to date with what's going on. The link to that is in my profile. Just go to my profile, click the link, drop your email in, hit subscribe, and you'll be good to go. That's all I got for now. I'll see you in the next one.
My wife just brought me some quesadillas. I'm starving. You know what I hate when people eat, though, on the live stream. So TPS is being canceled. What else I want to share with you? Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, yo, just came. Oh, yo, just came. So, you know, we talked a lot about Zarani Mondani and people getting what they voted for. Here's another example of people getting what they voted for. I thought no one was leaving New York. Here's the governor of New York. Remember, I educated everybody on how she became governor. You know, Creepy Cuomo was asked to step down, but he wasn't charged. Diddy got charged, but Creepy Cuomo wasn't charged. That's how she became governor. Y'all remember that? And then they let Creepy Cuomo run for president. Run for mayor. And they wonder why we got Zarani Mondani. But here she is anyway, asking and begging people, rich people, to move back. Here she is anyway, asking rich people to move back to New York. Why?
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. Just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We've saw that that's not the case. Wall Street, businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this. But we can fund what we want to fund with what we already are taking in.
Oh, New York, New York, New York. Everybody leaving New York. Everybody leaving California. Can't do business. Can't live. And she's begging people to come back. But then she's going to say, I want you to come back so you can pay for welfare. Anybody volunteering to pay for welfare, pay for immigrants? Hit the one if you want to go to New York and pay for welfare.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. Just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We've saw that that's not the case. Wall Street, businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate.
I argue it's not just the tax rate. I argue they're going there because they don't want to foot the bill for what she calls generous social programs. How about people have left New York because they're conservative Republicans and they don't agree with Democratic ideology that allows and gives way to $19 billion in fraud in Minnesota. We don't want fraud programs like Minnesota to go nationwide. We don't want to expand welfare, right? So maybe it's not just the taxes. Maybe it's Democrat ideology. That's why we voted 80% for Trump, because we do not agree with these ideologies from Minnesota and New York.
If you want to be supportive, but maybe there are some patriotic millionaires who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state.
Generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Maybe they left. Maybe they're not coming back because they don't agree with the generous social programs that Democrats want to have.
Who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state.
So they want high net worth people to come back to New York. Come back to New York. Come back to New York, New York, so they can pay for welfare. Ain't that some shit?
Right. Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. Just if you want to be supportive, But maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We saw that that's not the case. I mean, you know, Wall Street businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this. But we can fund what we want to fund with what we already are taking in.
So that's what you voted for in New York. Hope you got what you voted for in New York. Let me give you one update from Trump. Let me give you an update from my brother.
Volatile world, and the military equipment, the power of some of this weaponry is unthinkable. You don't even want to know about it. Oh, you could end this thing in 2 seconds if you wanted to, but we are being very judicious. But we want to do. Don't forget, Biden gave away. I rebuilt volatile world.
Trump said we could end this in 2 seconds. You don't even know about our capabilities.
I stand here today.
I agree.
Speaking to you, the American people, not through filters, not through reporters.
Pete Hegseth, baby, Department of War. Pete Hegseth, update Iran. Let's go, Patriots. Let's go, MAGA.
Speaking to you, the American people, not through filters, not through reporters, not through cable news spin. A dishonest and anti-Trump press will stop at nothing. We know this at this point. To downplay progress, amplify every cost, and call into question every step. Sadly, TDS is in their DNA. They want President Trump to fail. But you, the American people, know better. Yes, there are reporters in front of me, but they are not our audience today. It's you, the good, decent, patriotic American people. You, the hardworking, tax-paying, God-fearing American patriots. The media here, not all of it, but much of it, wants you to think, just 19 days into this conflict, that we're somehow spinning toward an endless abyss or a forever war or a quagmire. Nothing could be further from the truth. Hear it from me, one of hundreds of thousands who fought in Iraq and Afghanistan, who watched previous foolish politicians like Bush, Obama, and Biden squander American credibility. This is not those wars. President Trump knows better. Epic fury is different. It's laser focused. It's decisive.
Pete Hegseth, baby. Department of War, Pete Hegseth.
I stand here today.
Epic fury is different.
The Middle East, our ungrateful allies in Europe, even segments of our own press should be saying one thing to President Trump.
That's it.
Thank you. Thank you for the courage to stop this terror state from holding the world hostage with missiles while building or attempting to build a nuclear bomb. Thank you for doing the work of the free world. Yesterday's ceremony reminded us why we fight. Not for nation building or democracy promotion, but to crush direct threats to America, Americans, and our interests. We fight to win, and we are winning.
Amen.
The world, the Middle East, our ungrateful allies in Europe, even segments of our own press should be saying one thing to President Trump. Thank you.
Hashtag thank you in the chat. Thank you, Trump.
The world.
I agree with that. Hey, Pete.
Speaking to you.
I like the way he did the finger. That was very presidential, Pete. Somebody been working with Pete on this speech.
Speaking to you.
Y'all see that? Hey, can we get some props for Pete in the chat? Pete, you've been doing your thing, man. You look good, man. I like the. Hey, y'all see that? Y'all see the your American flag handkerchief? That's clean. I ain't never seen that before. That's clean. I like the tie, everything, and then watch he do the presidential point.
I stand here today speaking to you.
Amen. Amen. Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead, Pete. Do your thing, Pete. Go ahead, Pete. Go ahead, Pete. Pete Haggy, baby. Department of War. Shout out to you, man. I gave you your, gotta give you your shine, man. Gotta give you my shine. That's my brother from another mother, man. Gotta give you your shine.
This development. でも私は、世界の、繁栄とそして、平和に、貢献できる、世界中に、平和と繁栄をもたらせるのはドナルドだけだと思っています。
But even against that backdrop, I firmly believe that it is only you, Donald, who can achieve peace across the world.
でそのために
I only believe it's you, Donald, who can achieve peace around the world. Global leaders didn't feel this way about Biden. I don't understand why more people don't love and understand what President Trump has done, not only for you and me, but for America as a country and the globe. This is the brand new Japanese prime minister, first female prime minister visiting Japan, visiting Trump at the White House. And she had just acknowledged that no one else can bring peace to the globe other than Trump. Now, keep in mind, when I first told you, she loves Trump. She gave Trump a big hug when she got here. Trump went to Japan and celebrated her and congratulated her when she became prime minister. Did you guys know that? So she has a great affinity for Donald Trump. One of her first executive orders was Japan has recently changed its immigration policy. Japan has a MAGA-esque immigration policy where they no longer are going to allow certain Islamic immigrants. And she said in her speech that Japanese culture is first and foremost. And if you don't put Japanese culture first and foremost, you will not be allowed to immigrate to Japan, because we will not have the same Islamic issues that the rest of the globe is having with immigration and Islamic theocracy and Islamic, what's the word I'm looking for? Not jihadists, but extremists. Islamic extremists shut down in Japan when she became prime minister.
私は、諸外国に働きかけて、しっかりと応援をしたいと思っています。
And to do so, I am ready to reach out to many of the partners in the international community to achieve our objective together.
今日私はそれを伝えに来ました。
So today, I came here at the White House to directly convey this message to you.
そしてイランに関してはもう核兵器の開発、これは許されてはならないことですから、日本も働きかけをしてきました。
And speaking of these,
double tap, hit the like button. Double tap, hit the like button. We got some dum-dums in there. Let's roast the dum-dums real quick. Bro, you're black, voted for him, and he's the biggest racist, ha-ha, on you. Wait, watch me see. Now, this person obviously is retarded and doesn't know how to speak English properly, but let's roast their bitch ass. Kimberly Harmon. I just played a video of the governor of New York bitching and whining because shit in New York is fucked up and no one wants to live in New York. I just played a video of California having a choice between one Republican and another Republican because nobody wants a Democrat in California or New York. And then you're going to say something that I know you're new here but I'm highlighting it because I love the opportunity to prove that Trump is not a racist. So what have we done when we did with dum-dums like this before? What we did before is we looked up the HBCUs and the $400 million that Trump gave to HBCUs, right? No other president could have did that. Trump fully funded HBCUs. Biden didn't do it. Obama didn't do it. Clinton didn't do it. Bush didn't do it. No other recent president, especially your Barack Obama, your black mama, Kamala, who wanted abortion and all the gay shit, they never did shit for blacks. They did hella shit for gay people, though. Gay marriage, gay this, gay that. All gay, gay, gay. So fucking gay. But nothing for black people, but Trump is racist. But Trump said no more Title IX. Trump said no more men on women's sports. And Trump said, what was it called? Investment zones and Trump accounts. Trump accounts to help low-income black dum-dums like you to learn about economics, $1,000. When I told about the Trump accounts, I also talked about 529 plans because dum-dums who don't know about Trump accounts, who don't know about economics, probably don't know about the 529 plan. So you have HBCUs fully funded by Trump. You have the economic opportunity zones designed by Trump. And then you have the MMR separated. Dr. Oz, RFK, under Donald Trump leadership, went to the CDC and separated the MMR. But Kimberly Harmon is a hater and a dum-dum, and I bet you don't know what MMR means. Let's give Kimberly a chance before I block her bitch ass to define the MMR. Huh? Somebody said Trump accounts, haha. Let me block your bitch ass because all they can do is hate. Do you know what the MMR is? Okay, here we go. And Sin, I'm gonna give you a chance. Define the MMR. I'm gonna give you to the count of 2. 1, 2. Couldn't define the MMR. Couldn't define the MMR. So let's get this bitch out of here then. She ain't got shit to say about the MMR, and she's probably not even black, you guys. She's probably white, fat white woman with purple hair who loves black cock, but she don't know shit about black people, and she doesn't know about the CDC reports about the MMR, right? Measles, mumps, and rubella. Thank you very much. Trump separated it. He didn't say that you won't get the measles or the mumps or rubella vaccination, but Trump said based on research, and that research adversely affected young black boys. So if Trump was racist, why would he even give a fuck to address the MMR, knowing how unpopular it is to discuss vaccines as it relates to, all that controversial stuff that I'm not even allowed to fucking talk about on YouTube? Why would Trump even go there? Why would Trump even go there? He could just say, nah, let somebody else deal with it. Trump said it doesn't hurt to separate the MMR. I love Trump. I love Trump. He's not racist. You are racist. This is the sick part about 2026, that what you actually said in my chat was the real racism. I love you guys. I got to go. I love you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. It's been a great show. We learned a lot. Love you guys so much. God bless America. God bless Trump. God bless everybody watching and supporting me in the chat. This is your last chance to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join the channel. We running the Somalian special. Right now, you can support my channel for less than a cup of coffee. You remember the UNICEF and the African babies with swollen bellies and flies on their eyeballs? 10 cents a day. Yeah, you can support my channel for the same thing. You can go support a starving African baby so they can come over here and rob you blind, or you can support me. Have a good day, you guys. Trump is a 5th grade bully, and you are blocked, bitch. You thought you was going to get that off, bitch? You thought you was going to get that off, bitch? He thought he was going to get that off. Who is this guy? You thought you was going to get that off too? No. We don't play like that. Peace. Thought you was going to get that off, huh? You thought you was going to get that off, huh? You thought you was going to get that off? Get these bitches real quick. They thought they was going to get something off at the last minute. Thought they was going to get something off, huh? Got their ass. Salute.